Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen him down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's my time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Told him come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience and the pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the ribbon, we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition, they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Max maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on the road, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and sometimes 11:50 when Bitcoin's going to zero. Mafia, we saw it happen. We finally saw it happen. We've been looking for a potential move through all the liquidity levels underneath our macro volume profile. We looked at this last night on the live stream, and it does look like we broke those levels and did get those quick drops to the downside. I want to break down this price action for you guys. Is the bear market here? Is it finally time to throw in the towel on Bitcoin here? Or is this where you should be paying the most attention to take advantage of a potential another massive rip to the upside? We're going to break it all down in today's video or market update. I'm not used to saying a live stream this early in the morning, or not early in the morning, but early in the afternoon. But yeah, guys. Oh, man. Shout out to anybody who was in the live stream last night. You guys, I really hate, seeing that money flow coming to the red and, keeping that open mind, looking for that bigger downside move. And but when it's on the charts, guys, we got to bring it up. I have a responsibility to the Mafia to be 100% honest in the TA, whether it's popular or not, to call for more downside. We have to be looking at that as a possibility, especially when the TA looks the way it has recently. Oh, God, guys, this is brutal. I know everyone's been feeling the pain on the altcoins, and I know this is not what everybody wanted to see, but we got that drop to the downside, and hopefully they've been tuning in, seeing this TA, and understanding the levels underneath us, and how if we broke into those liquidity levels, we would see those quick moves to the downside. Hopefully that was able to at least take the surprise out of this fast dump to the downside. So I'm going to break down all the key levels for you guys. We are coming down to a key level of support as we are starting to get a little bit of a bounce. So we'll see what happens. The shorts are absolutely slapping here, guys. So like I said last night, when you're a trader, obviously the dumps to the downside still hurt those spot bags, but you can make money on the way to the downside as well. And it does ease the pain just a little bit when we see these fast drops to the downside. But shout out to the Candle Mafia. What is going on, everybody? Shout out to Al Jr. Welcome in, bro. Let's see. Shout out to Al Jr. said, Frankie, I'm taking a shot of NyQuil and ginger for my nerves. Does that help nerves? Shout out to Al Jr. Be safe out there, bro. We got Gordon in the chat, said, I tried to stay up all night trading and fell asleep without a stop loss. No, shout out to Gordon. Oh, man, I know the feeling, bro. I can't act like that's never happened to me, just laying in bed like, it's going to go back up. I'll set the stop loss before I fall, and then you wake up wrecked. Oh, God, shout out to Gordon, bro. Hopefully you're not hurting too bad. Shout out to Vital. What is going on? We got Elon Musk in the chat. In the chat said, Elon says, Frankie, bro, please talk slowly. What is going on, Elon? Welcome in. But thank you for tuning in, bro. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, regardless of the market dump, we will give away $300 in Solana. So smash up that like button. We got Wick in the chat. Not Wick589, but we got Lick Ligma in the chat said, woke up to my short, paid in full LFG. Let's go. Shout out to Ligma, taking the information on the stream, making money whether price goes up or down. But guys, let's jump right on into this gold dump too. Oh God, that was kind of what we were looking at recently on the live stream as gold was hitting into a key level of resistance. Maybe we'll take a look at gold as well. We got vacation time in the chat said, don't let this distract you from the fact that Hector is going to be running 3 on the Civics with spoon engines, and on top of that, he just went into Henry's and bought 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec exhaust. Shout out to vacation time. But welcome in, guys. We got Creighton C in the chat, Nirvana. We got everybody here. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. And guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and, oh God, do we want to look at the chart? Do we want to look at it, guys? Oh man, should we bring it down to a lower time frame so it feels even more dramatic than it already is? Oh God. All right, so without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right, guys, here we are. Oh man. So shout out to the Candle Mafia. Let's talk a little bit about this. Obviously, we have gotten that fast drop to the downside. And if you guys tuned into last night's live stream, you will know as we were looking at the loss of this macro range, we were coming down with a fast, aggressive move into this value area low, which obviously was not the prettiest move, as if we lost this value area low, we knew, right? Well, I guess we kind of were guessing, but we knew, right, that we had really not a lot of support down here, guys. And, you know, if anything, hopefully this technical analysis can help you understand, you know, why moves down happen and when you could potentially expect those fast moves, not only so you can capitalize on the short positions like we are in the premium Discord. I am still holding my short here from $102,000. That's up about, I think, $6,000 now. I'm also holding my other short, which is still open here. Over on Femex, this was another short setup that we gave in the premium after that first drop to the downside. And now that one is massively in a profit as well, up over $10,000 altogether. Yeah, over $10,000 altogether. So, you know, again, you know, it's nice to see this drop down for the short positions. However, obviously, this is hurting everybody's spot bags. So I'm going to kind of, you know, hopefully give you guys the next key levels of support down below. But we knew, guys, looking at the, maybe I could pull up the trade. I think I'm only logged into, so I'm logged into Blowfin here. Oh, God, computer, do not crash out on me now. Come on, computer. You got to stick through us here. Stick with us here. But yeah, here's that short position up now $200, $600 locked in. And I did take a knife catch long scalp here with the premium Discord up about 684. We actually just entered this a couple of minutes ago. So we are in a little bit of a knife catch at the bottom here, up over $6,000 here unrealized between both of these trades, now up $700 on the long. Not too shabby, guys. We're bing-bonging this chart up and down, grabbing that money every chance we get. But we knew, guys, at the end of the day, if we were going to lose this range low, not only did we not have a lot of support down below, we talked about this last night, right? There's no horizontal levels between the value area low and this daily, and this was really that next key level. And guys, we are there. We've had this level on the chart forever. It seemed unrealistic. And no, a lot of people did not think we were going to get this drop to the downside, guys. But when we look at Market Cipher B with the money flow crossing over into the red on the daily with that 2-day money flow trending to the downside here with a fresh red dot, we know that if this money continues down, if this daily money flow stays in the red, we are going to be looking for a continuation to the downside. And because we had no support down here, we knew not only no support, guys, but we also had a lot of liquidity sitting below these wicks. And even in the premium, I've been talking about how, hey, guys, we could potentially look for trades at these liquidity levels. However, there's not a lot of confluence, so we do have to be very careful. And at the end of the day, the next real key level was going to be sitting down here at that daily horizontal, sitting at about $87,400. And where are we sitting today, Mafia? Last night, we were looking at the chart. All the key targets to the downside were hit, and now we're here again at the, oh my God, please bounce level, guys. And we are getting a little bit of a bounce here. But because we had these liquidity levels, guys, not only did we not have a lot of support, but we knew that once we started breaking below these liquidity or liquidation wicks here, where we know that we had a lot of liquidity down below. We got a little fake out SFP of that low for a little bounce back into the value area low. We got the bearish retest. And again, remember, money flow is all pointing for the continuation of the trend to the downside. And once we break that level, what happens, guys? We literally, I went over this yesterday on why we expect quick drops if we are unable to swing fail this level. And, you know, with all the long positions, with their stop losses and liquidations down below, that gives us that liquidity. And when that liquidity gets tapped into, when you get stopped out of a long position, it creates a market sell. So once you get into this level, it causes that cascade of liquidations and stop losses being triggered, adding that sell pressure to the market, giving us that very fast move to the downside, right? Not just saying like, hey guys, if we break this level, we're probably going to go lower, right? We understand the liquidity. We anticipate the fast drop to the downside. And you can see, right? We got a little bounce here. Once we rejected, broke below the level, there's the cascade of those liquidations, giving us, again, that fast drop to the downside. And then once we break below this level, what happens? We have more liquidity sitting below this wick. Sitting below this wick at 89K. And what happens, right? We come down, we SFP it, we get a lackluster bounce and a continuation to the upside. And once we break into that level, quick drop down to our actual key level, which is that daily. And I'll be honest with you guys, we do have some somewhat bullish signals down here. We have some bullish divergences forming on the 30-minute, lower lows on our price action, higher lows on our momentum waves, and at the end of the day, if we pull up that 1 hour time frame, we did technically confirm an SFP here. So hopefully, right, the hope here for a continuation to the upside is that we did grab enough liquidity to at least start pushing up here and squeeze out a bit of the shorts that have been entering on the way down here. So, our best bet here is to push up and get a little bit of a squeeze to the upside. But at the end of the day, guys, with money flow, the way it's looking like on the higher time frames, money flow continuing out, daily money flow continuing out, we have to be very careful here. If we do not hold this daily level, guys, again, this is the oh my God, please bounce level, because we've been talking about that doomsday scenario where we could potentially see price come down into about between $83,000 and $80,000. And it's very, very similar to kind of what we've been seeing down here. If we do not bounce here, let's say we lose this daily, we come back down, bearishly retest it, and we lose it once again, the next level down here, guys, is simply $85,200. And if we crack this level, very similar to this wick, and potentially even this wick, depending on how this plays out. If we break if we break this wick down here, which is the overall range low of all of this consolidation, mark my words, we break this level, there is a lot of liquidity sitting below here. So if we crack into this, we could be triggering those liquidations and stop losses and potentially get another quick drop down into our key level, which again, we have been looking at. And guys, I hate looking at the bearish scenario, but when you have money flow looking like this, we have to look at these lower levels, even when they seem unlikely. And we just know it's an if this then that statement, because technically we were holding higher lows here. This actually wasn't looking that bad. And to be honest with you guys, again, if we come down to $83,000 to $80,000, this is not necessarily bear market territory for Bitcoin. Obviously, the alts are gonna hurt a lot if we do come down there. But at the end of the day, this is an important golden pocket retracement, and this is not necessarily a level where I would be getting overly bearish. This is still our biggest, at the end of the day, right? We knew that we did not, not have a lot of support below our value area low, in between the value area low and this daily. But if we come down here, guys, this isn't really that strong of a level, right? It's just one single daily. We have no naked points of controls down here. We don't really have any key Fibonacci levels. So at the end of the day, the real confluent level here, the real strong support, if Bitcoin does want to continue down, it may want to come down here, sweep out this liquidity, and come test our next confluent level of support, which is simply still sitting down here at $83,000 to $80,000, where we have the golden pocket, and we also have some daily naked points of controls down here. We've been looking at this level for quite some time, but at the end of the day, this is the next real confluent level of support. And if we break down below 85K, these liquidations could potentially fill very quickly, and this might be, we break below this level, just like these previous wicks here, right? If we break below this level, we expect a quick drop down. If we break this level, we expect a quick drop down based on where the liquidity is lying in the market, and it's a very similar situation. If we break this wick, we could potentially get another quick down into the lower 80,000s, which I do not want to see, guys. I want Bitcoin to go up just as much as anybody else, and hopefully we can get some kind of at least relief, even if we are going to continue to see this come down. Hopefully we can get some kind of relief here on the daily, but I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to take these wicks off the chart because we've taken the liquidity below them, and at the end of the day, another thing we were looking at yesterday, guys, obviously was the VPVR, or the visible range volume profile, showing us that we do have a very, very big drop in volume here, right? This was another thing that we were looking at. I'll even pull this up on a, let me just hide the TA here, right? We know, quick moves up oftentimes lead to quick moves down. And where does this quick move up end? It ends at about $80,000 on this big daily candle. So, we are really playing with the fire here, right? That daily is sitting right here. That's what we're bouncing off of. But once we lose this level, right, look at the massive low volume gap. Price likes to stay attracted to these high volume nodes. These high volume nodes act as a magnet for price. We stick around on these high volume nodes. But once we wind up losing it, we could eventually wind up not only, right, understanding that not only, let me actually hide the TA so I can mark this up a little bit for you guys. Not only do we have the, We just get rid of these, bada boom. Get rid of this, bada boom. Actually, just hide this. I don't want to get rid of this forever. But, once we lose this level, guys, you have the daily sitting right here at 85. Not 85, 87, 350. This is is this the Bybit chart? What the heck is going on here? But yeah, we have this daily right here, which we are sitting on top of right now, $87,347. This is not the oh my God, please bounce level because we just want to call it that. It is the oh my God, please bounce level, guys, because we are Bitcoin is literally like on the edge of a cliff, like this, dangling, like slipping on gravel, trying not to fall over the ledge, guys. If we break this level, oh man, I mean, not only do we have the low volume gap, where's the next peak? Significant peak in volume, guys. Again, it's here at about $80,000. And on top of that, we know that we have all the liquidity sitting below here. So not only could we potentially fall through quickly because of the low volume gap, but also because we have all that liquidity down below. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens if we break this level, guys. Like I said last night, you could fill in whatever that news event is going to be. I would think, right? There's going to be some kind of bearish news here to drive the market down to 80,000 if we do wind up seeing that. But we just see it from a technical perspective. We have liquidations below and literally just no support until $80,000. And to be quite honest with you guys, this support is not even that big, right? Like the real heavy support, the next real high volume node comes in at about 76,000, which is confluent with our 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? So if I pull this from the significant low all the way up to the high, you can see golden pocket is sitting here between 83.4 and about 81.5. And then once we lose that, man, 79,491, we have another little peak in volume, but then that 786 comes in right on that higher volume node at about $76,000. I really would prefer not to see the 786. I mean, really, I'd prefer to, SFP this level and just send it back up at least to 97K and potentially beyond. But, if we lose that golden pocket, right, let's say we do come down. If that golden pocket doesn't hold, we lose that golden pocket, guys. Where's the next likely place for price to go when you lose a golden pocket? It's probably going to go seek out that 786, and it is very confluent with the volume here, right? Because again, break down below here, quick move down to the golden pocket. Maybe you snap down to that little high volume node here at 79.6, and then if that doesn't hold, probably going to be another quick down to the next high volume node /786 here, sitting at $75,800. Please, for the love of God, let's not do that. About 76K. But again, not only, confirmed by the volume, but also confirmed by the liquidations and the Fibonacci retracements. There's a lot of stuff, if we lose this level, to be calling for these levels. So hopefully we can just get the bounce here. And again, we did get a slight, not the strongest confirmations here. We did get a slight SFP here. Again, I did take that knife catch attempt. I kind of expect that to get stopped out. But if it doesn't, we will be long from the bottom here once again in the premium Discord. But right now, guys, we kind of just get that ride to the downside, and we're just enjoying the gains here from these short positions. I am still holding this, obviously, with my stop loss in profit. I've moved my stop loss down just a little bit, further into profit, and I'm just going to keep trailing my stop loss down here, and then eventually when we snap back up, we'll stop out for a nice profit. It is, don't play with fire and you won't get burned. Shout out to, Godlike. Shout out to Godlike. That was some godlike advice right there. But yeah, not that you can't take stabs at these long positions. Like I said, I did take a stab at this long position, but the key is, cutting it when you know that trade is invalidated, right? Not just like longing here, being like, oh, we had a big drop down. Let's hope we can long here and get a big move up. You have to have those reasons, those entry confirmations, which we did indeed see. Although they weren't the strongest, we did see them pop up. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. So we're in the long, we're in both of the shorts, but at the end of the day, if I stop out for a small loss on that long, those shorts are going to continue to pay us out in a very, very big way. So we're managing that risk absolutely perfectly here. Frankie, call Satoshi now. Shout out to Rad Capital. Yeah, maybe we'll have to make a call to Satoshi here. Either Bitcoin or gold. Either Bitcoin or gold. These all will have an effect of accounting year ending. Shout out to Learning Life Content. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, guys, not to mention we have Wyckoff distribution top. Yeah. I mean, this is actually we've been talking about that, right? Is this bullish consolidation? Is it distribution? Like, what is going on up here? Very, very hard to tell, to be quite honest with you. Sometimes you can look at the order flow and kind of see if there's a lot of absorption at the top or at the bottom, and that's kind of how I determine if these ranges are going to break to the upside or to the downside. However, It was very, very hard to tell here in this range specifically. But if you see that price is coming up with heavy volume and you see the levels are not breaking, right? You have a lot of buyers trying to push price up, but the level's not breaking. And then you come down and then you come back up, another ton of volume, but the levels are not breaking. This could indicate that there's large whales up here absorbing that buying, filling up their sell orders to push price back to the downside. But at the end of the day, guys, this may not be, again, this doesn't necessarily mean that it is the start of the bear market. Again, I have to be completely unbiased. I have to be agnostic as a trader. Could this be the top at 110K, as I've been saying for the past weeks? Could be, not possible. But again, I don't necessarily fall in that camp. However, as we've been saying, it does not mean that we can't see more pain here, right? We have the weekly bearish divergences, the monthly bearish divergences, which is about to print here in about 3 days. So this could easily continue us to the downside. But again, we do have levels underneath us, right? Even if we do see more pain, it doesn't necessarily mean it's instant bear market. But if we do come down there, I'll just pull it up here on the main levels, right? If we do come down there, that golden pocket, right? This would be the next key level of support, right? So at the end of the day, right, like sure, we could SFP here and get a bigger move up. However, there's not a lot of levels down here, right? Really, we like to see those big bounces on key confluent levels. And at the end of the day, it's really all sitting down here between about $83,000 and $80,000. So very, very hard to tell. If we come on in here to the lower time frames, again, you did get the 1 hour SFP. Although it wasn't beautiful, we did get the, actually, we have to redraw this wick. Bada boom. Let me grab this. Where is it? Where are we at? Where are we at? There we go. So let me just grab this wick right here. Bada boom. We did technically get the SFP on the 1 hour here, right? We wicked below, we closed above. This is our best bet to see a move to the upside. Not only do we have the SFP, but we also have the bullish divergences, right? Lower low on our price action, higher low on our momentum waves. This is the 1 hour. We also have the green dot printing. So this is actually a divergence that is printing. It's not just setting up. Lower lows on our price action. Technically, it's into a key level of support. Higher lows with that green dot printing. But again, this isn't like the most beautiful SFP. Right? Like if we got a big wick down here, closure above, and we, typically for swing failure patterns, they oftentimes do play out very aggressively, very quickly. We are not seeing a very good reaction here. So I'm in the position. We'll see what happens if I stop out again. Those shorts will continue to pay us out. But in my opinion, it's not the most beautiful SFP, so I am being very, very careful down here. But just catching those knives, baby. Sometimes, especially when you're in profit, 5 figures on the longs, you could take a little stab here as long as you are managing that risk and not just YOLO longing, holding this forever, hoping it comes back up. But we'll see what happens here, guys. Money flow here. Other than that, shout out to anybody who watched the live stream last night, right? I'm glad we covered this last night because, even when we were consolidating here at the POC, guys, we were talking about how, this is a very, very choppy situation, but when price falls asleep like this and just goes sideways for weeks, oftentimes you want to be careful, right? Because it gets super boring. You want Bitcoin to wake up, but sometimes when she wakes up, she gets really, really nasty and cranky, and she rears her ugly head, and sometimes there's bear ear. She's wearing those bear ear headbands, and she rears that ugly bear head. And, we did know once we broke through this, right? Once we wound up getting this breakout, we knew it was going to be a big move, but we just did not know if it was going to be to the upside or the downside. But it doesn't matter here, guys. As traders, we just hold those shorts. We take the entries on new shorts, and whether we break up or down, we were even in the long position here from the bottom. So if this did surprise us and go against money flow and give us the big move up, we were long from the bottom, and if it broke down, we just see those shorts continue to pay us out, which is a super cushy position to be in. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, we just saw exactly what we looked at last night. I highly recommend, obviously things have already played out, but go back to the live stream. If you're learning how to trade, go back to the live stream last night and look at what I looked at to anticipate not only a continuation down, but also a potential break of these wicks and why we expected it to be very fast. And I don't say that to brag. I say this to show you how reliable TA can actually be. A lot of people think it's astrology for crypto bros, but if that's the case, we are the luckiest crypto bros on earth. We know we break this. We're going to get the quick move through all that liquidity. If you could spot the liquidity in the market, guys, you could predict these fast moves down, either allowing you to capitalize on the drops to the downside, or at least just understand what you're seeing from a technical level, so you're not just like, oh my God, is it going to zero? Is this the bear market? Are the whales selling? What the heck is going on? You can at least understand what is actually going on here. So we'll see. SFP, if this holds, we'll see it later tonight. This will likely either be stopped out or much more in profit. But either way, we're going to be in profit whether we come up or down. So super nice situation to be in. But these are definitely the key levels, guys. 85, yesterday we looked at 87,347, which is the next key level. We're sitting there today. If we lose this, next level on the list Going to be 85. Let me get the actual level here from the actual wick. $85,212. That is the level to watch. And if we break it, just understand, just like we saw this quick move down and expected it, if we break this level, could be another quick move down and come in between about 83,226. Potentially down to, I would say, about $80,000. That is the next key level. And another thing we looked at last night, right? Bull market support band. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Oh, man, we're starting to lose that bull market support band as well. Now, I do want to kind of give a little caution here, guys. Just because you break the bull market support band does not mean it's instantly over forever. You guys can see this, right? We had the same exact situation happen here where we were above the bull market support band. We were absolutely flying to the upside, and then we wound up coming down. We even bearishly retested for another drop down. We got back above it. Everyone was asking me, Frankie, is this the bear market? In which case we responded, guys, zoom out, right? We are just at all-time highs. This is very likely not the bear market. And, when people see the bull market support band broken, they're like, oh, my God, this has got to be the bear market, right? But you can play. These are just moving averages, guys. You could play around with these levels. And what happened? We got a big dump down. This was really bad. A lot of bad sentiment here. We came back up. Another bearish retest. Like, even in my opinion, right? One retest, rejection, another retest, rejection, another retest, rejection. This is not really that bullish looking, right? But at the end of the day, we did get back up. We flipped it to support, and then we sent it back to the upside. So again, this does not instantly mean, oh my God, call the bear market, right? And that's not my opinion, right? You could just see here, we've done it before and we have reclaimed it. Doesn't mean we're guaranteed to reclaim it either, but just, try to not feel super, super scared just because we broke that. It doesn't always mean it's completely over, but definitely more of a bearish than a bullish case, right? Even if we do come back to the upside, this is likely going to curve over, right? And that is going to be key resistance. And, maybe we reject again to come down to 80,000. And then, once we start losing this zone, guys, this is really where things start to get a little bit sketchy in my own personal opinion. And I know a lot of people, I even saw last night, I was on TikTok and I see, a lot of crypto people pop up. And, here's the thing, right? I read the comments, right? And a lot of people are like, this is just getting started. I do not fall in the camp that this bull market just started, right? I mean, this is just clear, right? This bull market has been going on for quite some time, at least for Bitcoin, right? We didn't get the utility altcoin season, which again, isn't necessarily completely out of the cards just yet. But, we have been coming up, this is for sure a bull market, right? We're just sending it to the upside, another big, massive rip to the upside. And just remember this, guys. Again, I don't necessarily, at least at this moment, saying that the top is in at 109K, but it is possible, right? But again, I don't fall in that camp just yet. There's not enough signals on the chart for me to actually say that. But at the end of the day, think about this, right? When we came up, everyone's expecting 200, 250, 300. Some people are expecting 500 grand, right? That's the same kind of sentiment that we had up here, right? A lot of people expected 100K. We didn't get anywhere close to 100K. We topped out at 69K. So, just because there's a lot of people calling for massive higher prices, guys, you'll never hear me come up here, guys, and be like, no, guys, it's just starting. 100% we're going back to the upside. I always look at the market as a trader. I look at the bullish case and the bearish case, right? Because that's how the market moves. Nobody knows exactly where it's going. And obviously, we could capitalize on these moves very, very nicely. If this thing goes into a massive bear market, our profits in the Mafia do not stop, right? But, again, there's, even if we come down to the golden pocket, this is 100% a situation that could happen where we hit that golden pocket and then send this thing up to much, much higher prices. Come sweep out some of the big liquidity that entered on the FOMO longs here, and then send it back to the upside. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed situation, but this is something you have to think about, right? Investing in crypto and just trading in general is a very, very difficult skill, right? Because you just don't know what's going to happen, especially when you don't have any significant concrete technical signals indicating that the top is in. But we do have some of those top signals, as we looked at yesterday, right? Weekly bearish divergences, monthly bearish divergences. These did pop up in the previous bull market, right? We had all those signals up here. However, there are also a lot of metrics that popped up here that are not yet flashing here. So, you want to really be careful with the fear. You don't want to let either fear or greed get in your head, right? Everybody lets the greed get in here, oh my God, but it's never going to stop going up. Buy, 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 buy. They wind up buying the top, and then when it comes down, they're like, oh my God, it's all over. Sell, 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 and then they sell the bottom. So, again, I'm not saying that we're definitely not going into a bear market, but in my opinion, just from a technical standpoint, if I just delete all this stuff off the chart here, if I just hide all of our volume profile levels, etc., we have let me hide these wicks. Bada boom, right? At the end of the day, the next structural support, if I pull up the, daily's the only thing there, pull up the daily naked points of controls, the weekly naked points of controls, the monthly naked points of controls, even the monthly and the weekly levels, you can see, we talked about this yesterday, all the key levels are really above us. underneath the range, there was really nothing until this level here. And where are we getting the bounce? Right from that level. And if we break that daily level, just understand there's not a lot of structural support here. So like from a very, very binary, this is what takes the emotion out of trading, right? Like I'm not going to say if I lose this, I'm getting scared, so we're going to dump, right? Or everyone's getting scared, so we're going to dump. It's just like there's no support to hold us up here. So we lose this level, bearishly retest that daily, can't get back above it. We're probably going to see a quick move down to the next structural levels, which are these 2 daily naked points of control / golden pocket, which sits just above this at 83.3, right? So this whole zone is really that next level. So we can't hold this. Very likely we come down here. So it's not like to be unexpected, right? So just you heard it here first, guys. We lose that daily, probably headed down to this zone. I don't want to say that, right? It's not a very pretty sign, but even let me pull some anchored VWAPs here, and then I'm going to come back into chat and see what you guys think. Let me know, are you scared? Is the bear market in, or are you buying up this fear, guys? But you can see here, massive anchored VWAP. I'll get rid of the bull market support band. We have a very important anchored VWAP coming in here at about 83.8. And again, if I pull that same Fibonacci retracement, you guys can see that is right in on the golden pocket. And then that bottom of that golden pocket's also right on that daily naked point of control. So just from a binary perspective, guys, a TA perspective, if we cannot reclaim the daily for a bigger move up and we get stuck underneath here, very, very likely. Very, very likely. You heard it here first. And we've been looking at this situation and scenario for quite some time, saying if we lose this, mark my words. Actually, we probably have a clip. Shout out to, it's going to be so hard to find. But I even said clip it. If we lose this low, we're probably going to see that quick move down, right? Not only because of the volume, not only because of the liquidations, but because those key levels are down there. And again, remember, fast moves up equal fast moves down. So we kind of pictured this, right? If we do see that bearish scenario play out, I'll do it again. I did this before the drop down, but we'll just do it again here, right? Lose this daily, these range lows, get a quick move to the daily, lose the daily, probably going to be a quick move down to about $80-ish thousand. If we go all the way down to that daily naked point of control, you guys can see here, quick move up equals quick move down. So if we break into that low volume gap, oh man, probably going to be that quick move down. So hopefully we don't have to see that. I'm going to keep you guys updated, obviously, here every single day. But yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because like I'm kind of excited that the shorts are playing out. I'm excited that the TA absolutely slapped. But it's a little depressing to see Bitcoin kind of struggling here, just dangling on that cliff. But I know, TA can be very confusing, but the volume profiles can make it very, very simple to look at. We are definitely on that cliff, guys, and she's slipping. She is slipping. So somebody reach out. Golden, reach out there and grab Bitcoin's hand and pull her back up on top of the cliff. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, let's see. Jump into chat real quick. Yeah, shout out to Mike Vito, said less than 20 alts hit their all-time high. That ain't no alt season. I mean, if we don't get any alt season this cycle, guys, it looks, the pump fund ruined this alt cycle completely. Again, now I don't necessarily fall into that camp. Again, retail has not really come back in. And remember, guys, I said this last night. All it takes is a rate cut. All it takes is a bullish news event, a tweet from Donald Trump, a tweet from Elon Musk, something like that, right? And things could turn around very, 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 very quickly, right? And just remember, everybody was bullish up here where we were looking for shorts. Everybody's bullish up here when we're looking for shorts. Everybody's bearish down here when we're looking for longs. Everyone's bearish down here when we're looking for longs, right? So just understand that, right? Everyone is going to be scared right now. And again, it doesn't mean we can't continue down. I just covered that bearish case, right? I would kind of be anticipating more downside, right? We haven't even gotten the 2-day money flow crossover, but we play it level to level here. So, again, you just don't let the fear come in. If you think we're going lower because of a technical reason, that's fine, right? But don't just get scared and anticipate more downside because we've dumped. Because when you do that, right, you are late to the party. If you were not bearish until now, you are late to the party. Right? And again, it doesn't mean we can't continue down, but, it's not necessarily the best time to fresh short. I even said this yesterday, right? This is not, when you get a big drop to the downside, it's not really the best time to short, right? And if I pull up this, you might think to yourself, well, Frankie, what the heck? We actually dumped. But at the end of the day, right? Like you come down here, oh my God, we're breaking key support. You short? You're probably going to get stopped out of that trade if you're using good risk management. If not, you're going to go into drawdown and then eventually it plays out. But where you really want to be shorting is on the pushes to the upside. I am not short from here. Now, would I have shorted here? Maybe, but I would have to short on the retracement. When price is pushing up, that's where you look for the shorts. When price pushes down, that's where you look for the longs, right? Even if you're going to continue down, you don't want to jump in at the aggressive drop to the downside because there's very likely going to be some kind of a retracement. So just be careful. And there you go, guys. Oh, man, losing that daily, baby. Losing that daily. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. Don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. If you're going to do it to us live. Please, for the love of God, give us some exciting, hopefully get us some exciting moves to the upside. But let's see. It's Solana's fault making garbage coins for any and everyone. Let it burn. Yeah, shout out to Jay Will. I mean, Pump Fund pretty much. Pump Fund obviously sucked out the Solana meme coin, sucked out a lot of the liquidity on the altcoins this cycle. But again, we'll have to see what happens, right? If we go into a massive bear market, again, I'm not really worried about that until we start losing this level. But I know, listen, a lot of people are in a different situation, right? Like if you were buying Bitcoin up here, if you were buying alts when everything was pumping, I can endure a move down to $80,000, right? I was buying Bitcoin in the bear market, right? So for me, and to be quite honest, guys, just to put this in perspective, this is the first significant drop we've had. The first real drop that we've had, right? Because this you could consider that's a real drop, that's a real drop. But I think a lot of people think Bitcoin's been doing nothing but dumping. That's just simply not true, right? Bitcoin's been consolidating, right? We've dumped and then we've pumped. And then we dumped, and then we pumped, right? So this was consolidation. This is the first time we've actually broken the lows and come down. And again, if you watch the live streams, this was a very, very popular scenario I've been going over. And this is really just that first dump to the downside. So, Bitcoin, I mean, altcoins obviously getting absolutely decimated for a while now. But Bitcoin, we were just consolidating here. This was not dump after dump after dump. This was just sideways. So just very important. And I understand if you buy, if you're buying at the tops, this feels like a massive dump, right? And then maybe you're like, oh my God, we're breaking out again. Let me buy again. And then you get another dump. You're like, oh my God, this is a scam. All it does is dump. But really, it was just going sideways. This is the first time we've really broken structure to the downside. So hopefully it's not the big dump into a massive bear market. But again, guys, a traditional 4-year cycle bear market, we could even, if we come down to 80K, a lot of people are going to think this is a bear market. But bear markets are where you're spending a lot of time dumping, right? A long time dumping. And then you're hanging out at the lows. This would not be a traditional 4-year bear market. We would really have to start breaking down in order to for that to be the case. But we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. We're going to be making money whether price goes up or down. So hopefully it's just it goes back up. But again, 2-day money flow, the signs are and were here, guys. 2-day money flow coming to the downside. Daily money flow in the red, 16-hour money flow in the red. But I'll tell you what, my shorts are from all up here. I am not looking for fresh shorts here. Not that I think it's going to rip up to 100K, but just be careful. Be careful. Just make sure you're using stop losses if you're aggressively shorting. Could you short here and catch that move to 80K? Sure. It's just not the ideal entry. You want to wait for some kind of retracement. Let's see. Girth Vader says, it's over. People are too entitled for an alt season. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, guys, I always say this. Anything can happen, right? We use the 4-year cycles to try to predict what is the likely outcome. And we've done that in the past, and we've done it very successfully in the past, right? We use the 4-year cycles to predict from the move from 30K all the way up to 48 to 50K and beyond, right? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people do, Girth, I would agree with you. I think a lot of people just kind of, they're just well, we have to have alt season. It's impossible to not have alt season. And that's not the case, right? This is not I know it seems like Bitcoin is coded. And I mean, obviously Bitcoin is coded, but it seems like the cycles are just the way they play out are just always repeat themselves perfectly, but they're all different. And at the end of the day, guys, we need the QE, right? So maybe we do see a little bit more downside. Maybe we do just kind of grind down here. Maybe we play around here. Maybe we really freak out here. But you have to understand the plethora of scenarios that can happen in here, right? Everybody's just it's over. It's going to zero. It's never that simple, right? Whether we come up and make a new all-time high or not, that's arguable. But, at the end of the day, right, you could come down for some pain. Everyone thinks it's over. Maybe we bing bong around here for a couple months, right? And that's super sentiment crushing for crypto. And then all of a sudden you get some bullish news, rate cut, something like that. And then boom, everything moves very, very fast in this asset class, guys. Things move very, very quickly. The second it moves down, everybody's bear market. Second it moves up, everybody's 100K. So just try not to be one of those people and just use sound analysis to look for your next moves like we do here. And again, that's how we were able to predict this move. It's not because I felt bearish or I thought, oh, everyone's bearish, no one's going to buy here. It just has everything to do with the liquidity and the key levels. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Dak. I don't know how to say your name, bro, but he says, until and if QT ends and QE begins, no alt season. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. I 100% agree with that. And even on Total 3, guys, let me take a look at Total 3 for you. Looking at Total 3, we've been looking at this, right? especially recently over the past week, getting a breakdown out of this range, a bearish retest of that value area low, that $931.2 billion level is the level to get above in order to see alt season. Until we get above this level, we can't look for alt season. And we even looked at the local Fibonacci retracement, right? Hoping, hey guys, if we want to get there sooner or later, we got to get above this golden pocket 786. And that 786 is confluent with that $931.2 billion level. And what happened, right? We come down, bears retest, lower high, continuation of that downtrend. We looked at this last night. We looked at this last week. This is definitely does not mean that alt season is, on the cusp. And you have to be careful, guys. You have to understand a lot of, and this is obviously no hate towards anybody, but, on when it comes to the internet, right? Like, there are benefits that YouTubers and influencers and TikTokers have to be saying alt season's around the corner, right? Because they're trying to get a lot of views, they're trying to get a lot of clicks, and they're always going to be like alt season around the corner, alt season around the corner, because people want to hear that. They're going to click that video, but at the end of the day, like, there's no reason to really be calling for that, right? So, when it comes to the actual technicals, so you do have to be careful. Like, a lot of people were saying, even last night, I saw a couple people saying, alt season's right around the corner, guys. And I'm just like, I mean, even if you got a bounce here, right, and you started coming back up, that doesn't even mean alt season's around the corner, because you have nothing but resistance ahead, right? If you get a move up here and total 3 starts flipping this to support, that is where maybe alt season's around the corner, because if you fill this whole profile, that's where the altcoins are going to run. But right now, we are pretty far away from this move, right? 16% away from that key value area low. This is the key level. If you want alt season, don't wait for your favorite influencer to tell you when it's coming, right? Because they might not even know how to look at this stuff, right? Like, if right, you can understand, like, until we even get close to this, I'm not even going to entertain that possibility. Now, pulling up Bitcoin dominance, right? Let me pull up dominance. Whoops. Let me pull up dominance real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. So, yeah, I mean, here we are. Another thing we were looking at, kind of similar analysis to looking at the total 3, right? We have our Bitcoin dominance here from 2020, right? The 2020 to 2021 range that we had up here. Right? And what happened? We've been riding up. When was I looking for the altcoins to pump? Right? I was looking for the altcoins to pump when we tapped this very key level, right? Very key level on the Bitcoin dominance chart, an area where a rejection was very likely. This is where we started to look at the altcoins pumping. We put a bunch of calls in the premium Discord, and almost all of those wound up getting pumps from this dump on dominance, right? Now, obviously, this has been completely eaten up, right? But until something like this happens, where we're testing key levels on dominance and total 3 is getting back into its range, that is kind of where you want to look for the alts to run, right? But when it comes to Bitcoin dominance, we've been looking at this value area low. This was the level that we have to get below. Very opposite of total 3, obviously. You want dominance to get rejected out of this range and get a big dump to the downside, right? As long as we keep playing with this level, right? Keep playing with this value area low. If we stay inside here, 2 things. If you hold above this value area low, where is the next likely place for price to go? I know we're looking at dominance. Very likely you're going to go back up to that POC, which we've already tested at 64.25%. And if you break above this golden pocket, guys, where is another place where price may be very likely to go? The 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? So until we start to see a test of these levels or rejection of these levels, right? Whether it's the value area low, we break down here and start dumping, or we test the POC again and start dumping, or the 786 and start dumping, where we see total 3 reclaiming its value area low. Until we see those rejections on those key levels and a reclaim of this value area low, right? Like, there's no reason to look for the altcoins to pump, in my own personal opinion, right? I could be wrong, right? Maybe this stuff won't work. I doubt it. But that is, this is what we'll call for alt season, right? Not someone just saying, we just dumped, guys. Don't get scared. Alt season's around the corner. You have to understand how to read these charts and understand how they relate to each other and how it will affect the performance of not only Bitcoin, but also altcoins. So that's it, right? Key levels to get on your chart for total 3, guys. If you want this exact range on your chart, I'll give it to you. 931.2 billion, 101.07 trillion at the POC, and the value area high at 1.1 trillion. Bitcoin dominance. Key levels, in my opinion, right, if we're just looking at this from a Fibonacci standpoint, right, if I go ahead and hide the volume profile, right, this was the first level we looked for the dump for a pump. We got it. Then we came back up. If we get above this golden pocket, guys, not a good sign. You break above this golden pocket, where are we going to go? 786. Very similar to what we saw in Solana, right? Just this, similar, technique. And there we go, guys. It's crazy, right? What did we look at on Solana last night? Well, I'll just go over this really quickly, right? We have the golden pocket sitting right here, right? It's the same thing I'm looking at on dominance. And if you could learn this, you could figure out how to call for these moves, right? Golden pocket, we could not hold it, right? We tried to hold it, we tried to hold it, bearish retest. If we couldn't get back above this golden pocket, where were we anticipating price to go? We were anticipating it to get that drop down to the 786, which if you go to a lower time frame, we did respect the 786, right? So in that same fashion, looking at Bitcoin dominance in the opposite direction, if we get above this golden pocket, guys, where's price likely to go? Into that 786. This is sitting at 66.21%, right? So that's, in my opinion, based off Fibonacci levels, that is the next key level to be looking at. If we approach this level, this is where you could start to look, and I'll show you exactly how I do this, right? Like if we start to approach this 786, this is where we start getting close and I say, hey, let me hop on some of the altcoin charts. What do the higher time frames look like? Are they putting in macro bottoms? Is money flow starting to come back up? Because if it is, and you see those altcoin bottoms starting to come in, and Bitcoin dominance is starting to look bearish, and it looks like it's going to reject this key level, that could be, right? If you're looking for a big rejection, they're either going to come in at the golden pocket or the 786, right? And again, we did get a little tease here, but if we get above this, guys, it is possible to come up to 66.21%, which, obviously is going to cause a lot of pain for the altcoins, very likely. But this is nice, right? Because if you could sit on your hands and wait for these levels, and only if, right, you want to be seeing bottom signals on the altcoins, and then, you're going to look for this to be bearish at 66.21%, and then that could be the big drop down. And if those altcoins are showing strong bottoms, maybe it's time to start looking for buying the dip on the altcoins. But until something like that happens, buying the dip on the altcoins could be a very dangerous game, right? Because you could just buy it and keep dipping, and then buy it and keep dipping. You could buy the dip of the dip of the dip of the dip, and you don't want to do that, right? You want to have a reason and a plan on why you should be entering the market. So just keep that in mind. And then when you just bring up the volume profiles, obviously this is all pretty much confluent, right? Get above the golden pocket, you're expecting to come up to the 786. And if you get above the value area low, you're expecting to at least come up to the PLC, which is why I'm looking at these levels as very, very key. The next big levels on dominance, 64.29 and 66.21%. Those are the levels to watch. If we're able to, for some reason, get underneath here and get a big dump, that would be good. And then that value area low, by the way, is sitting at 60.95%. So there's a lot of confluence here on this chart, and this is what I'm going to be looking at. So there you go. Also, another thing to potentially look for, guys, is money flow crossovers into the red on the daily, because if you come back in the past, right, those big drops in Bitcoin dominance do tend to happen. The daily money flow crossovers into the red tend to be pretty good signs for a big breakdown on dominance. I have alert set here for a breakdown on dominance. Literally the alert. Look and see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Sold target. Altcoin season alert, right? That is set for the money flow crossover into the red on the daily, right? It doesn't guarantee alt season, but it's that best bet, right? Right now we have money flow coming up, right? That's not what you want to see for dominance to dump. And then you come up to some of these higher time frames. We do have 6-day red dot, weekly VWAP coming down. So, this weekly red dot might be something to watch as well in order to call for a little bit more of a move down. But we'll see. Maybe that test of the POC is all we needed. Maybe not. But we don't have to know that, right? We can assess this as it develops. So I'm not really reacting until we see something pop up on the chart here. Let's see. Shout out to Local 11 said, I just keep getting stabbed by falling knives. Just juggling those knives, baby. Shout out to Local 11. Let's see. Let's look at TIA, please. We can take a look at TIA. I want to jump into Ethereum, XRP. I'm going to jump into Solana as well. But we will take a look at TIA as well. Bada boom, bada bing. This is all a shakeout of the peasants. Shout out to John B. I hope so, right? And again, just to reiterate my sentiment here, right? Like, I'm totally fine with a drop down to this golden pocket, right? So, I'm even willing to see more of a shakeout here. And shout out to anybody who watches these live streams, guys. We have been looking for this to be a potential scenario. And, we're in the shorts, right? This is why we were holding my short from 102K was, hey, if we break down to the value area low, nice. And if we break down even more, we can continue to profit, right? There's reasons I take shorts here. We look at them as, a lot of times, scalps until proven otherwise, or day trades until proven otherwise. But there's a reason I was holding my short here at 102K, right? Because it was a possibility that was the local top. So, yeah. But let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shake out those peasants. Shout out to French Toaster. Bada boom, bada bing. Dominance might go up to 69%. Let's check the chart, right? As long as you have a reason to look for dominance to go up to 69%. And guys, this is I'm a technical trader, right? So I'm always going to use the charts. I'm not saying that nothing else affects the charts. But, for me, right, we could just be reactive of what we see on the charts. And let's see here. Well, you say it could go up to 69%? That's weird. that happens to line up with the charts. So there you go, right? At the end of the day, if we flip that value area low, go to the POC at 64.29, maybe we do go for the 786. And here's the thing, guys. Things can get really sketchy, right? Like you could get a dump here, the alts start pumping. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's finally alt season. It's finally alt season. It's finally alt season. And then we reclaim the POC and go for the value area high, and the alts get dumped again. Trading is hard. Investing is hard. Right? This is why, if it was as easy as just like waiting for someone to say, it's altcoin season, buy your altcoins, and then make $1 billion, no one would have a job, right? So it's important that you actually understand if you want to stick around in crypto and make money consistently over, many years, potentially replace your full-time job, whether it's from day trading like we do, or whether it's from long-term investing, you still want to understand at least, even if you're not a chart person, it doesn't matter. You don't need to necessarily understand the charts in full, but if you could at least incorporate simple and basic technical analysis to look at as confluence with potential news, it's very important in my opinion, right? And I'll be honest, once you start understanding the charts, you're going to start to realize, right? Oh, I see. When there's bearish news, there's oftentimes bearish signals before that news comes out or whatever it is, right? You'll very quickly, very likely, TA will probably win you over where you start paying a little less attention. And again, I'm not saying news or, big events don't affect the price. It absolutely does. But just oftentimes you will see bearish, let's pretend, right? I don't know. There's not really any like super, it's not like we got some like crazy bearish news here. Maybe the buy bet hack helped us come down a little bit. But at the end of the day, guys, like we have weekly bear divs up here. Like this typically signals some kind of at least a significant top, if not the overall top, a significant top, right? So, it doesn't matter. Like, again, we're looking for shorts up here. We're looking for shorts down here. I'm literally short from 102K up here. Right? That's not because the buy bet hack. I didn't even know the buy bet hack was happening, right? I'm short from technical reasons. And then the buy bet hack just helps us come down. And again, who knows? This could be, if this was fueled by news, I would be looking at it as liquidity, right? And that's why a lot of times you might hear bad news, you might sell the bottom, and then price rips. And you're thinking, what the heck? All that bad news and we just ripped. Well, it's probably because you just came down to flush out liquidity before sending price to the upside. It's a very, very tricky game. You're playing against really, really big people, and they have a lot more resources than we do, right? So you got to really protect yourself out there. But let's go. Shout out to Crypto Anon in the chat. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. It's Crypto Anon says this is what happens every bull market. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. At the end of the day, what is this dump from wick to wick? Right, 21%, guys. This is not. This is not uncommon in a bull market. 30%, 26%. Right, even here. 23%. This is not uncommon in a bull market, right? And again, I'm not saying just because it's not uncommon in a bull market, it's guaranteed to go back up. 21%, right? Even here, this is kind of when we were, I would say, entering the massive uptrend. 19%, right? Come back to previous cycles. 21%, right? You have some big dumps here, right? 32%. It wasn't over. We went in and put a massive new all-time high. We dumped 30% for another 117% rip back to the upside. This I would classify as somewhat of a specific situation. I wouldn't call this normal for a bull market. 55% is not normal for a bull market. But 20, 30, 35, 32% is not uncommon, right? We've seen that happen in the past. But again, these cycles do change, right? Like this dump, 41%. Obviously, they are more aggressive. Hang on, I got the... bear with me here. Sorry, I just got a phone call there, guys. 39%. And again, things get less volatile as the cycles kind of go on, right? As the market cap goes higher, the asset will mature and become less volatile. Just keep that in mind, right? Like this isn't necessarily, it's not like we just saw 65% dip or something. That would be very, very alarming. But yeah. Let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. I didn't take any profits at all this past year. Just waiting for the bit alt season pump, and I'm starting to get cooked now. Or the bit account season. I don't know. Shout out to Magnum. I think Bybit. Big alt season. There you go. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, let's see. What do you think about lick range lower around 85 to 82K? Shout out to Thomas. That's exactly what we just looked at. That wick down below into that golden pocket. Those liquidations are sitting there. And let me pull up the. Bear with me here, guys. Let me pull up the liquidation heat map just to show you guys, and then I'll pull up Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and we'll jump into TIA as well. And then I'll jump into chat and check the super chats. But yeah, just to kind of show you guys what we're dealing with here as far as liquidity. And I'm actually going to pull up an even higher time frame as well. We have the 3-month. I'll pull up the 6-month as well. Let's see if we can see anything there. Yeah, I mean, if we pull these up, let me just show you, right? We knew yesterday we looked at the liquidity sitting below these wicks, and what are we doing? We're coming to take that liquidity. We took a decent bit of it, but we still have some down below, 84,000. And then if we zoom out, we have another hot spot down here. Unfortunately, this liquidity, if this gets taken, guys, that's a very likely tap of that $76,000 786. Liquidity is sitting below. So this is going to be all fuel for a continued drop to the downside. Not bull market, not from a bearish scenario or a bearish standpoint, but just from a liquidity standpoint. And then if we pull up let me pull up the 6 month as well. It's a little easier to see on the 6 month here. You can see a lot of liquidity below. We have that big chunk we just took. Could you send it from here? Maybe. But, next key level, 83.6, right? That brings you down into those golden pocket levels, and this is all going to be potential fuel for a continuation down. And this liquidity really doesn't end until about 76.1. Do we have those key levels at 76.1? Right up in here. Daily naked point of control, 786. Weekly naked point of control, 75K, right? So, a lot of liquidity in here. We come down. Could send that down to the golden pocket daily naked points of controls. Once you start losing this daily naked at 80K, that's what would send you into the 70s. I don't want to see this level tapped. This is where things get very, very difficult, right? Especially if it happens quickly. If we wind up, come on, TradingView, what the heck is going on here? Especially, yeah, man, this anchored VWAP would be absolutely huge to hold. But once you start breaking down below this and playing around with the 786, this is where I start to actually worry, right? And, is this going to happen in a straight line? I mean, hopefully not. There's a lot of liquidity, honestly, but I would hope not. But, once you start losing that 786, guys, this is where things are going to become much, much more bearish. But again, the position that I'm in, at least for Bitcoin, is, I don't have to necessarily panic off this little drop to the downside, right? But if you're buying up here, I talked to some personal people in my life, and they're asking, like, is this thing over? Like, should I sell? And I'm like, well, first off, I can't tell you to sell. Even if I tell you not to sell or to sell, you probably won't listen to me anyway. But, if you're buying up here, right, especially if you bought a lot of altcoins as things were still pumping, you may not be willing to endure a drop down to 76K or even 80K, right? I'm willing to endure this, right? But my average entry on Bitcoin is 20K, right? So, I'm willing to do this. But a lot of people might not be willing to do that if you're buying up here when price is pumping. But again, that is more of a, if you're feeling that pain, it is more of a signal of where you bought rather than how bearish Bitcoin is, right? So just keep that in mind. Just imagine, right? Like, try to put yourself, if you were buying down here, right? If your average entry price, come on, TradingView, let's go. If you were buying down here, right, is this little pop to the downside going to be panic worthy? Not really, right? But most people were buying up on these pumps to the upside. So yeah. But again, we're just sticking to the charts here. But I do want to take a look at Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum and also take a look at Solana. What the heck is going on with TradingView right now? Come on, what's going on here? Let's see. If you ain't willing to ride the wave, you shouldn't be in crypto. Try index funds. Yeah, shout out to Nathan. That's honestly the exact advice. Not financial advice, of course, but that's what I tell people, right? My personal people in my personal life, right? When I see them freak out, very classically, they come in, they want to buy the tops, they want to sell the bottoms, right? And at some point after that happens enough times, I tell them, listen, take a portion of your paycheck every month and just buy Bitcoin and hold it for 15 years. Or just buy an index fund. You're going to make more money. But the answer is always, I don't want to just make that slow money, man. I just want to I want to get rich. It's not that easy. It's not that easy, right? It takes a lot of time. And you could get rich, right? But you have to be willing to sit here, learn, and very often spend a lot of money learning, right? But let's take a look at Ethereum here. What were we looking at on Ethereum last night, guys? Looking to come into that golden pocket 786. Where are we sitting right now? Right in that golden pocket 786. Now, one of the things I was looking for down here, which may change. Let me, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and close Exo charts real quick. Maybe that, I don't know if that's why this is lagging, or maybe I can come over to this other chart. But let's check out Ethereum here, right? Looking to come into that golden pocket 786. Bada boom. And here we are, right? Now, one of the things I would be looking for down here to expect some kind of a significant bounce, right, is the daily, right? That daily red dot, this is what we were looking for, right? Not only looking for the daily bullish divergence to potentially form here, but what would that daily bullish divergence as we were hanging out up here, what would this call for? This would call for a lower low on our price action into that key level of support, golden pocket 786. right? So if we start to see that bullish divergence form, that's your best bet to get a bounce back on Ethereum, right? And then you're looking to reclaim the value area low. And based off money flow here, right? Money flow on the 2-day coming back to the downside, right? Fresh 2-day red dot printing. If this money flow comes into the red, right, and we do continue down, even if we do get the 2-day and the daily bullish divergences, if that money flow is coming into the red, we have to be careful, guys. We have to be careful of lackluster pumps to the upside and then lower highs and continuations to the downside. But here we are, right? Like, the TA slaps, right? Like, and I'm not just saying that because it's my TA. I'm just saying TA in general, right? Like, we knew that we were probably going to come down here based off what the chart looked like. Once that red dot print, that would likely give us the move down, and here we are. Hopefully we can get that bullish divergence, but again, this wick down here, a lot of times those wicks do like to get filled, and this is kind of what we were looking at, talking about why I wasn't really willing to long down here on Ethereum, because if I were to take a long here, where's my stop loss have to go? It's really got to go below this wick if we're being honest, right? And if we're going to fill that wick, I would just rather wait for that big move down into a bigger key level of support to get at least a better entry for a ride up. And if we pump to the upside, I'm happy to see that, right? I'm happy to miss out on that long. I don't have to catch every single move, right? And then we could capitalize on either short positions or look for retracements for long positions back to the upside. But right now, key level on Ethereum, $2,300, right? If we continue down, that $2,300 786 is going to be absolutely key. If we lose this 786, guys, I would be expecting a move down to our next key level, which is sitting between $2,100 and $2,000, where we have our macro value area low, as well as a monthly naked point of control and liquidity sitting below these wicks, right? So, you also have the POC in here as well. That's actually the level that we tapped. You can see we literally pixeled that POC. But if we don't bounce from that POC, and more specifically lose that 786 at $2,300, right? We can't reclaim it. I'm looking for a move down here. And this is probably where everybody's giving up on Ethereum. Oh my God, it's dead. It's never coming back. I'm probably looking for longs down here. I'll be honest with you guys. So those are the key levels. Now we're just seeing things play out here, right? Like we look for the moves. Finally it moves. Now we're just kind of hitting those levels and reassessing the situation. So we'll see if that daily bull div prints. Watch for the daily bull div on Ethereum. Let's see. Shout out to Jets. And if you like BTC at 100K, you should love it at this level. Shout out to Jets. Yeah, absolutely. What do they say? If you don't want Bitcoin at 50K, or if you don't want Bitcoin at 20K, you don't deserve it at 100K. Let's see. Stoked on this earlier live stream. Delaying heading to work at as I'm on the West Coast. Shout out to Bitcoin Ronin. Let's go, baby. Good morning, San Diego. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome in, bro. Happy to have you here. I think it's going to drop more 80K. Yep, that's what we're looking at. We got those key levels down there. Guys, if you're just tuning in, go check the beginning of the stream. We covered all the key levels on Bitcoin, so you have them. Where would I long BTC? I am long BTC right now. And again, I would be very careful. Up $200 here. We just entered this right before the live stream. Not a long signal, right? I would not long it right now. We already entered this, but I would classify this as somewhat of a risky trade, right? We are pretty much catching the knife here, so keep that in mind. But we got short up about $6,000, and I have another short open on Femex up about $6,000 as well. So I'm covered here, right? If I take a little loss here on the long on Bitcoin, right, the shorts will continue to pay me out, so it's totally fine. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying like YOLO long here, but I am long on Bitcoin. That's kind of a loaded question, right? It really depends. Where would I be looking for like a swing long on Bitcoin? Where's the next key level of support? Because at the end of the day, we can go down to the 1 minute and try to find a long position, if we're looking for a little 0.5% move. So real answer is I am long on Bitcoin right now, but I would definitely be a little bit careful here. We could easily continue down. I'm not long here because I think this is guaranteed to be the bottom. That's, I think, a common misconception with TA, guys. You don't have to, your job is not to know exactly where the bottom and tops are going to be, right? Obviously, it helps if you can accurately call them, but that's not your goal, right? Your goal is to look at the TA, figure out where the top and the bottom could come in, right? And then put the probability in your favor and then manage risk. You could be wrong, right? I don't have to know that this is the bottom. If I'm wrong, I will take a small loss, but the shorts will continue to pay me out. And even if I wasn't holding shorts right now, it would be a small loss, right? I'm not blowing up my account on that long position. I'm cutting my loss where the trade is invalidated, which technically I'm stopping out a little sooner, but technically on an SFP, right? I always say this, if you swing fail a level, your stop loss would typically go below the wick. But that really depends on each individual trade setup. So technically I'm long. I wouldn't say it's probably the best high probability long, but I am technically long right now. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. I got a bottom-ish tick. Shout out to Taking Care of Business. Said we could go back up 5K here and then roll over. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Taking Guys. Remember, money flow indicates the longer-term trend. This money flow does not come back up into the green. We are likely even on pumps at this point with the way money flow looks on higher time frames. We have to anticipate lower highs and continuations down. It's very hard to say if we're just going to nuke down here right now or if we're going to get a retracement and then continue down, right? If we get a retracement, this long starts to play out, right? And things look bearish, like they're going to roll back over. I'm going to go ahead and take profits on that long and move my stop loss to break even. That way, if I stop out, I'll make some money and the shorts will continue to pay us out and we'll probably catch a new short as well. So just keep that in mind. But that's Ethereum. Kind of nothing really changed other than coming down to our key levels. Solana, obviously, we looked at this yesterday. We looked for the break into this value area low, calling for the move to the 786 POC. We hit that yesterday. And then last night on the live stream, we were saying, if you can't get back above this POC and you get another rejection, this daily at $131, which just barely got front ran here, would be the next area to look at. So yeah, key levels down below on Solana are still going to be sitting here between 131.79 and 124.76. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, you're back within your volume profile, right? And I could actually change these resistance levels just slightly because this has moved. I'm actually not even going to keep this on the chart. I will pull this when we have a significant low put in. But at the end of the day, just to keep things simple here, you have your value area high. And remember, guys, all this stuff is so simply marked out by the volume profiles, right? Once you get accepted back into your volume profile, that's where you're looking for the move down to the POC. Once you lose that POC, you're going to look to start your journey, right? It's always going to be a journey down to your value area low. You might bing bong around, bears to retest to 786, and then eventually you're going to look to come down to that value area low, which is sitting at 126.57. But you have your value area high right here. You have your POC. Come on. Whoops. You have your POC right here, 142.97, and then your value area low is sitting here again at 126.71, and this value area low is confluent with two horizontal daily levels. So if we can't get back above, this zone, right, I would be looking for a bigger push down to the value area low. This is exactly what we looked at yesterday, guys, and the day before, looking for the move down to the 786 golden POC. And I don't say that to brag. Look, we called it. I don't care about that, right? What I care about is you guys seeing us do the TA in real time, looking for this stuff to happen, understanding why we're looking for it, so you can apply this to your charts as well, right? Never about bragging. I don't care about making calls. I think it's cringy to be like, we called it, right? Like, even if it's the case, right? Like, just bragging about that is like, yeah, like, if you brag about that a lot and you're super, gung-ho about, we called it, you got to be, willing to say, we missed it, we got it wrong too, which I'm fine doing, right? When I get stopped out of trades, I tell you guys, right? Like in here, I got stopped out of 2 trades. I don't pretend I win every single trade. You cannot be right 100% of the time. That is the reality of trading. The key is managing the risk. So that's what I'm looking at on Solana. As far as market cipher B, guys, a lot of this stuff is going to look the same, right? Daily red dot was confirmed yesterday. 2-day VWAP just still below the 0 line. This money flows in the red. Until this 2-day money flow starts curving back up, until this daily money flow starts curving back up and looking to cross over into the green, we have to anticipate money flow indicates a longer-term trend. This is to the downside. We use this as a filter to know whether we should be looking for gigalongs for all-time highs, right, or massive moves up, or if we should be looking for little scalp longs for lackluster retracements, lower highs, and continuations down, right? With the money flow in the red, we have to anticipate lackluster pushes to the upside for lower highs and continuations to the downside. I'm not saying you cannot long from the POC, but I would prefer to long from the lower level here at the value area low, especially if we deviate below, right? Then you have your nice volume profile set up where you are below your value area low, which is obviously where you want to be looking for longs, right? You deviate above, this is where you want to be looking for shorts, the opposite of what everyone calls for. Oh my God, massive bull run. Did we continue up for massive highs? Yes, but you don't want to be getting bearish at these points, right? The context is absolutely king. You want to get not bearish here. You want to get bullish here. You don't want to get bullish here. You want to get bearish here, right? So if we deviate here, everyone's going to be bearish. And it's only if you have confirmation, right? Again, with Bitcoin, right? We were looking for potential longs here at the value area low, right? But what happened? We didn't get any real confirmations, right? We got a little SFP, but what happened? We just barely retested. There was no bullish divergences, no reason to take the long down here, even though we were looking for one, right? So what do? We sit on our hands and expect lower, and we take all that liquidity down to our next key level. So for Solana, pretty much, everything remains the same. Market Cipher B is pretty much the same as well. Looking at this volume profile for context, I'd rather wait for a push into the value area low for a bigger long position, but it doesn't mean you can't continue up locally. So there you go. That's what I'd be looking for. 2-day money flow in the red. I'd have to anticipate continued downside after potential relief, right? We'd be looking for lower highs and lower lows. Where are those lower highs likely to come in at? This is a little bit difficult because this was such an aggressive move down. We could pull from the significant high to the low. This gives us confluence on our value area high and 786, right? So you do have confluence up here as resistance. So if you did go for like a full, golden pocket retracement, maybe you even get above that POC, but at the end of the day, you could put that lower high in here. I would prefer to tap this first, but it's hard to say what you're going to get. But at this point, as long as you remain below the POC at 142, at about 143, right? That is going to be stay below this. Value area low is in the cards. Get above it. You could potentially retrace into the 786 at 150. If you get above that, you could look for a push up in here, but I'd be careful around the 170.52 to 160.174 level. I'd definitely be careful there. Let's see. Dang, shout out to Dismazed. Shout out to you, man. Said lost over 780K this year. Shout out to Dismazed, bro. That is, I'm sorry for that, bro. But hey, it's not a loss until you sell. I'm just kidding. Please do not take that seriously. It is true, obviously, but don't just hold your losers and say I'm still winning because I haven't sold. That's obviously a very dangerous game. Shout out to Erica in the chat. What is going on? Very dangerous place to short at these levels on BTC. Is at the bottom. I would say a bottom, could be the bottom. But yeah, I would agree, right? Like I just said that, right? You don't necessarily want to be shorting at after a massive drop like this. We are short from here, and we are short from here. So yeah, definitely don't want to be short. Again, you don't want to be short in the dumps, right? Like, and this is again, if you're hearing all that sentiment online, this is very. A lot of people are bearish, so you might think like, oh, I should short this thing to zero. Typically, when everybody's bearish, you're going to get at least some kind of bounce to the upside, right? Again, doesn't guarantee it, right? I will never guarantee anything here. Why? Not to cover myself. That's another common misconception too. Like I saw someone say this to somebody on TikTok last night. I forgot the guy's name. He's a cool guy. But he just like gives TA, right? And he's just like, these are the scenarios I'm looking at. This is how I'm playing it. And someone in the comments was like, dude, stop saying it could go up or down. Just pick a way and say it. And I'm just like, man, that's cringy, dude. It's like, don't say that. Like, that's not how it works. You're not like catching that guy in a lie. He's not trying to make sure he's right or wrong. He just understands how the market works. So if you think like that, just understand that's just not how the market works. A lot of people will pretend like they know it's going up or down. They don't. They're lying to you, right? So this is how it actually works, and this is why we're right more often than we're wrong. It's because we understand both the bullish and the bearish case. If I was just saying here, guys, oh my God, right? If we understood a little bit of TA and we were like, look, there's higher lows. This is a bounce. This is bullish. We're going to 100K, $1 million, right? That's really irresponsible, right? But what do? We know that, hey, guys, like we could continue up. I'm going to hold the long here with my stop loss in profit, and I'm also going to take a short here because we could dump down here. There's a situation where we could go down or up here. We took both of those shots. We took the long position. Maybe I still have it on here, but do I? No, that's the long I'm in. I don't think, maybe this one. Yeah, we took this long in the premium Discord, but we don't just say this is the bottom guaranteed we're going to $1 million. Otherwise, everyone's going to hold their trade, and then if it goes the other way, they're going to get wrecked. And there were reasons to take a short here, so we just took the short there. And this is how I handle my trades, right? We take profit, we move our stop loss into profit, and we say, hey, I'm going to take a short here. If this plays out, I'll stop out of the long in profit, and the short continues to pay us out. And that is the situation we're in right now. It's a very cushy position. So, you got to look at the bullish and the bearish case. That's not a way to kind of cover to say I'm always right at all, right? Because I'll never say I'm always right because I'm not. It's just no one's ever right. No one's right 100% of the time. But that's just how you have to look at the market. I'm very passionate about making that clear because if you think that someone on YouTube can tell you, even if they're a chart genius, even if it's Frankie Candles telling you I'm not a chart, I wouldn't say I'm, it's a little braggadocious. I wouldn't say I'm a chart genius, right? There's people out there that could probably read the chart 10 times better than me, right? Because I'm a sane human being. I'm not like a narcissistic lunatic, right? But this is 100% how it works, right? You have to entertain both sides. And once you do that, you're going to make a lot more money. I can promise you that. Let's see. How does someone who doesn't have the time to check the TA on the daily basis know when to buy and sell? Shout out to Senza. Very simply, this is where you wouldn't want to be a day trader, right? You would not want to be a frequent trader. What you would want to do is you would want to do a simple dollar cost average. You would want to wait till there's massive fear in the market, wait until everything is dead, crypto's never coming back, exchange is going down, oh my God, it's all over, and you would just want to start DCAing in the in the fear, right? And then you would want to hold for a very long time. And I'll tell you what, that's the cushy way to do it. It's a way less stressful way to make money, especially if you're busy, right? It's a way easier and less stressful way to invest. And I'll just give you a quick tip. If you have Market Cipher, for me personally, if I were not a day trader, right, I would personally, if I had like a regular full-time job, I would 100% set alerts for when the weekly money flow crosses over into the red, and I know that we're very likely to be in a bear market. I would wait for the massive breaks of structure to the downside, wait for that money flow to hang out in the red, and then while that money flow is significantly in the red, I would just dollar cost average. This is what I did this cycle, right? 99%, I wouldn't say 99, probably like 95%, 90% of my money is in longer-term spot bags. I have a long-term outlook on crypto. I take a small portion of my capital and I day trade that, roll those profits back into long-term spot bags. Not all of it, right? I'm not just like, oh, not all my money is in crypto, but I'm saying 95% of the capital that I've allocated to crypto. That's how I handle it, right? I have a lot of DCA'd Bitcoin here that I have been holding for quite some time, right? And I have a long-term outlook on that. So that's what I would recommend. Wait for that weekly money flow to go in the red. Go ahead and start your dollar cost averages and then hold it long term. You're eventually going to be in the green, right? Even if Bitcoin went into a massive bear market, if you were buying down here, right? Let's say Bitcoin goes down to 50K, right? And then we hang out down there and then we just go back up, in the next cycle or something. If that's a super bear scenario, at that point, right? Maybe you don't sell the top, but you're just thinking to yourself, hey, I'm holding this for another 10 years anyway. It's eventually going to go up, and all you have to do is come to the Bitstamp chart, and Bitcoin goes up into the right over time. It's very volatile. It has very big drops, but it goes up over time. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, let's go ahead. I want to jump into XRP. We'll do TIA first because I know a lot of people are looking for TIA. So let's go ahead and take a look at TIA here. So TIA. Here we are once again. Yikes. We got the big drop down. We had a low volume gap here. This is what made us anticipate a fast drop through this low volume gap. And what happened? We cracked right into that level here at about 379. Once we lost that level, massive fill of that low volume gap. This is similar to what we have on Bitcoin to 80K. No volume. And you could just see here, if I hide this stuff, right? If I just hide some of this stuff, whoops. This white box, you break into this white box, that's where you're anticipating a fast drop down to fill that low volume gap. And what happens? Insta drop, right? Just insta death to 252. Right? And then you get the bounce, and now you kind of just wiggle around. But as of right now, on TIA, getting a nice little bounce to the upside, back at the golden pocket retracement at 367. To be honest, you might kind of range around here. I don't know, actually. You came down here, you held the POC, got the breakout, retested the POC, and broke right back out. I mean, is TIA going to be the only altcoin that just flies? I doubt it. I mean, I know a lot of other things are hurting. This actually doesn't look bad. Nice little pump. This is holding up pretty good. This is probably a short squeeze if I had to guess. But at the end of the day, right, we've come up. We rejected the golden pocket 786 zone, so I'm actually going to get rid of that. I'll just mark out this top of the low volume gap. And let's pull our fib here from the high to the low. Yeah, so I mean, this resistance stays very, very similar here. From the value area high to the golden pocket. If you want a bigger move up on TIA, you got to get above this 786. And honestly, this value area high as well because it's so close. Once you get out here, this isn't a value area high. This is the low volume gap. Once you get above, kind of the same thing, right? Value area high and a low volume gap are not the same thing, but same theory, right? Like you still, wouldn't want to get stuck in this low volume gap. So you want to get above, I'd say about 383. Once you get above here, right, you could look for that continuation up, bringing you to your next key level, which would be the bigger golden pocket between 442 and 454. So that's kind of what I would look at here on TIA. Is that going to be likely to happen? Your 12-hour green dot's looking to print. I'll be honest, guys. Like I'm agnostic here. I am straight charts here. 8-hour green dot is printing. What's that 30-minute money flow looking like? We'll see if 30. I would say this. If you have that 8-hour green dot, how much time we have left? We have 5 hours to print that green dot. If you get this 30-minute money flow crossover on TIA, you may be able to get a continuation up at least to the 786 at 378. And then once you flip that level at 383, that's where you can look for a bigger continuation. But, I'd be careful, obviously. If Bitcoin's going to continue to dump, I would be careful. Maybe get a relief rally on Bitcoin. You get a little more upside. But these are the key levels I'd watch on TIA. If you break the highs, basically. If you break 383, I would look up towards 442 and 454. So there you go. Let's check in on chat here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Laser said, if I ever meet Golden, all drinks on me. Shout out to Golden in the chat. Let's go, baby. We all know Frankie is a wizard with a magic crystal ball. Shout out to Golden. What's up, bro? What's going on, man? Let's get it. Yeah, guys, I definitely don't investigate it, but I swear I don't have a crystal ball. Please don't investigate. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm getting nervous about this bull cycle. Shout out to, I don't want to say that out loud. I try to keep it family friendly, but shout out to you, bro. Sid, yeah, I'm getting nervous about this bull cycle. I mean, listen here, guys. One thing I promise you guys is you are never going to get BS on this channel. Ever. I pride myself not only on this channel, guys, but in my own personal life on transparency and honesty, right? What's the thing? What's the saying? Just tell the truth. It's easier to remember, right? And I'm never going to come up here and tell you guys, you're an idiot if you're selling here. I wouldn't say sell the bottom, right? I wouldn't, again, you want to at least wait for retracements, right? If you're really scared, I can't tell anybody where to sell, but, it's never really a good idea to sell on massive drops, right? And you could just go back on the chart to see that's the case, right? Like, what would have happened if you panicked here and sold, right? You would have regretted it, right? And even if you wanted to get out of the market, you would have been better off, like, buying on the way up. Now, again, if you need your rent money or whatever, I can't tell you where to buy or sell. But just in general, right, when it comes to charts, like you don't want to sell the bottoms, right? You want to wait for retracements. But it's much harder to sell in the retracements because you feel all the fear down here. This is why most people fail. And again, shout out to Coca-Cola. I'm not saying that this is your case. I'm just saying this is why most people lose money, right? Because they get super fearful here. And if they don't sell the bottom and it starts to go back up, what do they think? Well, now it's going to 100K. I'll just hold it. And then it goes lower. And they're like, oh, man. Oh, now it's going back up. And then it just that's why context is king. So, I wouldn't necessarily recommend, like, selling the exact bottom of a candle like this. But, at the end of the day, guys, I'm never going to come up here and pretend that, you're an idiot if you sell here. We're 100%. If you think the bull market's over, you're a moron. It is possible that the bull market is not over. It is also possible that the bull market is over. And we have to, and again, I'm going to let you guys know which way I lean, right? It is possible that 109.8 is the top. I am not playing it like that. That is a scenario that can play out, right? And I know a lot of people just want to hear, tell me if it's going up or down, just tell me when to buy or sell, right? Number one, because it's easier like that. But the hard part about that is just simply not how markets work at all. At all. That's not how it works. If it was that easy, right, everyone would just watch a YouTuber and make $1 bazillion. It's not that easy, right? But number two, right, it is also, not only is it not how it works, but it's also just not the case, right? Like, it could go up, right? Could be the top or it could not be the top. Those are the two scenarios. The way I'm playing it, right, based off specific information, not just because I want more YouTube views or anything like that, but there's a lot of metrics that have not topped out here. We have technical signals that could call for the top being in, but there's a lot that isn't, right? Retail sentiment didn't really come in like it did last cycle. But again, that doesn't guarantee anything. The way I'm playing this is if we come down to 80K, I'm okay coming down to 80K. If we start losing 80K, I'm a little bit worried. I took a little bit of profit on my Bitcoin up here. Not a ton. This was my macro. Let me pull up my cycle chart real quick. This was macro target number one for me, right? This chart's not labeled, but if you go back and you look at the videos, right, where we talked about, I'll tell you exactly, I don't know the exact video. It's still on the channel. I know that. I don't know the exact name of it, but it was right when we were testing 30K, right? It was right before we were breaking into about to break into our macro volume profile, which I don't think I have on this chart, but we were about to break into, let me turn off some of these levels just to give you guys some context here. I'll even take off that. We'll keep that. I'll shut off the spider lines. Where the heck are my spider lines at? Am I tripping? Oh, there we go. So when we were entering this volume profile, right, we were tapping our head on this resistance at 30K, right? This volume profile, this is exactly what we talked about in this video. I think the title of the video, if you guys want to look it up, maybe you could find it. It was a long time ago, but I believe it was when we were testing this value area lower, somewhere near this. And I think the title was like, the bull market starts on this date, right? I don't just say, guys, some conspiracy theory says that it's going to start on this day, right? What I do tell you is basically the idea was like, hey, the bull market starts on this day, right? That was the thumbnail. Had to be a little clicky, right? We need to make the thumbnail somewhat clickable. But the answer to the question, if you watch the video, is at the end of the day, I don't know what the date's going to be, but it's going to be when this happens, right? And the idea was once we get above this value area low, this is where we could look for the bigger move up to the POC at 34,000 and then up to the value area high golden pocket retracement at 48 to 50K. And we made that call absolutely beautiful. We called the start of the bull market, right? We didn't know exactly what day it was going to be, but it was going to be whatever day we broke above here. It wound up being October 2023, whatever that day is, Monday. So at the end of the day, right? Like when you're buying down here, like this dump is not that scary, right? So again, this could have been the start of the bull run, but again, guys, we could have dumped from here and gone to 14K, 13K, 12K, 10K, 8K, right? That's why, the way I played this was I accumulated when the weekly money flow was in the red, right? If you come up to the weekly, you can see it beautifully, right? And we did this on my channel. I talked about this very openly. Weekly money flow in the red, I accumulate. And then once you break above here, probably going to pause that daily dollar cost average for the big move up. And we get that big move up through the profile, right? So, my bias here, based off money flow coming up and the fact that we were tapping this, might have been bullish. But I could have been wrong there, right? The other scenario was that we bearishly retest this and then just come back down lower. But the way I played it, right? Both scenarios are possible, but the way I played it was the bullish case, but I could have been wrong. So it's the same thing right now, right? We're at target 1. This was in that video, I believe this was target number 1, labeled target number 1, between $91,000 and $102,000. We played around in target number 1, right? So I took a little bit of profit here, right? But I do like a weighted dollar cost average out, right? So a small profit here, or take small profit here. If we go up to the next levels, I take a heavier percentage out, and I go heavier and heavier on the way up. Again, I have taken a little profit up here, but, again, until we go down to 82K or 80K and we wind up losing that level, that's where I really start to be concerned and where I might be looking to get out of the market. But again, just like last cycle, there were signs that the bear market was here. And not all those signs are popping up right now, just a few of them. So it's very hard to call. So, could be the bottom, or could be the top, or it could not be the top. I'm not playing it as if it's the top. So could go up or down, but I'm not playing it as if it's going to go into a bear market. So there you go. We give both cases, but I also give you guys which way I'm leaning and which way I'm personally playing it. That's the only thing I can do. It's the only thing anybody can do, by the way. No one knows if it's guaranteed. Like, if they're just going off history, which, sure, history is likely to repeat. We believe that as well. But it doesn't guarantee it. A lot of people think it guarantees it. But anyway, Golden. Shout out to Golden. I appreciate you, bro. Golden, Blowfin did me dirty right now when you started your live stream. I'm way past pissed off at this point. Oh, my God. PMAX, here I come. Shout out to Golden. Shout out to you. I can't read that whole thing, unfortunately. I got to keep it family friendly. But shout out to Golden. Dang, bro. That's rough. That's, I'll have to, yeah, that's interesting. Let us know if we can help you in any way, Golden. We do have contacts. But yeah, let's continue on here. I missed so much sauce, had to step away. Shout out to P-Dub, bro. Well, shout out to you, bro. You could go ahead and scrub back a little bit. If you do so, please. Watching Frankie on VR is insane. Shout out to P.O. Ah! Shout out to P.O. But anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Gen Z, said Femex is the way. If you guys want to sign up for Femex or Blowfin, either way, you can check out the links in the description down below. They'll also give you access into the dining room, which is our freemium section of the Discord, where you get occasional one weekly post from the premium Discord. We obviously do every day in the Discord, we do the premium TA and the personal trade setups. But if you go into the dining room, you will go ahead and you'll get one post per week. I'm not going to show it right now just to save time. But let's see. Shout out to Golden Child. Said there ain't no kids in here looking at TA. That's let's be honest. Yeah. Or Mexi. Shout out to Laser. Shout out to Mexi as well. Yeah. Shout out to Eugene. Says bull market ended with the Trump meme coin and ripped a heart out while Bybit and Binance ate up the carcass. Oh, dang. Shout out to Eugene. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing, too. That's like a potential top signal as well, guys. Like the president of the United States, right? Like if you ask me, like, do you think the top's in? I'm like, I mean, I don't know. There's signs, right? Like president launches a meme coin. That's a pretty big top signal, right? Like massive adoption. That's kind of a top signal, right? Meme coins, everybody getting scammed at the tail end of the bull market. That's a top signal. Weekly bearish divergence, monthly bearish divergence. That's a top signal. So I'm totally open to the top being in. Absolutely, right? Maybe massive bear market. Who knows? But that's not the way I'm playing it just yet, right? For me to personally, and again, this has a lot to do with where my entries are. My entries are much lower. So, the way I play that is going to be much, much different than someone who might have been buying up here or buying up here. So I can only share with you guys what I'm doing. If I could give you 100%, answer, it would, be crazy. They would have to be, I'd be studied as a science project. They're already trying to study me, to be honest. Let's see. All the kiddies in school right now. Chainlink, yeah, we could take a look at Chainlink. Gold running up is a sign that markets are risk off. Yeah, I mean, that's at the end of the day, guys, right? Like the 4-year cycle is great. The 4-year cycle is great. History is great, right? Bitcoin halvings are great. But at the end of the day, guys, when things happen, right? Like maybe this Black Swan, right? Black Swan in 2020 was obviously, we know what that was. I don't want to get shadow banned here. But market can't predict this, right? Like, sure, there were bearish signals to go be in a short from here, but you wouldn't have known it was going to get that massive dump, right? So, like, maybe the Black Swan is macroeconomic, right? So, again, who said that? Who said it? Who said it? Yeah, gold running is a sign of risk off. Absolutely, right? But here's the thing, right? If we let's take a look at gold real quick. If we take a look at gold, right? What gold chart were we looking at last time? Oh no, let me pull it up over here. Boom. Right, gold, did it hit our level? Where is our level? Where? Oh, come on, load. We just don't have. They're just not. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, no. So we didn't really hit our level just yet. We do have another level here at about $3,000. So yeah, we'll see, right? Like, actually, yeah, gold dumping as well. I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, typically gold coming up, right? That's likely a lot of again, QE guys. Like we need QE if we want the risk on assets to go up, right? If we're in a bad macroeconomic environment, it's gonna be very hard for the altcoins to run. This is just another thing you can look at is the Russell 2000, not the tussle. The Russell 2000, where are we? What is it? RTY, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, if you look at the Russell 2000 here, I don't know why TradingView is being so slow. I literally restarted the PC right before we went live. Yo, shout out to Tony D said, somebody said they got stop punted. This is normal. There are ways to avoid it, and the way to avoid it is to enter in when everyone else gets stopped out. You're in the right place, bro. Check out the beginner series. We show you how to avoid getting stop punted by trading swing failure patterns. But is this not, what is going on here, guys? I closed exo charts. I don't know why this is happening to me. But if we take a look here, this is going to take another minute to load. So yeah, like, it's going to be impossible to wet this load to show it with total 3. But like typically, guys, like we need the Russell to break out. This is essentially like total 3 for the stock market, right? Shows like the lower cap stocks. So when this breaks out, this is typically where we see alt season as well. And this is obviously getting a crash. And like I wouldn't say it's a crash, more of like kind of a sideways range, but it could be a continuation of the downtrend here for sure. But these are the things to watch. Russell breakouts could call for an alt season. Total 3 is the most important thing I'd watch of a break of that 931.2. 4 billion, I think is the number. Get above that level. Look at the Bitcoin dominance. But at the end of the day, right, like if we're in a bad macroeconomic environment, it's going to be hard for crypto to run. It doesn't matter about the 4-year cycle. I say this all the time. The 4-year cycle is worth looking at. It's worth understanding, and it doesn't mean nothing. But at the end of the day, if the stock market dumps, Bitcoin's going to follow. If there's no QE, the alts aren't going to run, and maybe even Bitcoin goes down. Right? It all tracks traditional finance. You cannot argue that. If you overlay the SPY or any other like traditional stock market over Bitcoin, it simply tracks it. Right? So that's why, obviously 2020, big capitulation, money printing starts. That's the QE, right? That's what gives you the run up on the Russell. That's what gives you the run up on Bitcoin. That's what gives you the run up on the stock market. So, maybe this cycle, the Black Swan is financial, right? And in that case, it is 100% possible that Bitcoin could top out here and do something it's never done before as far as, timing. I mean, timing-wise, it's not even that off. But, as far as timing-wise, all that stuff, the top could be in. But again, I'm not playing it that way. I have to see more things break in order for me to call the bear market officially in. Let's see. Yeah, have we seen single-digit fear? Have you seen single-digit fear and greed yet? No, I don't think so. Previous time from breaking all-time high to new all-time high was 350 days. This run, the time from breaking all-time high to the current all-time high was 346 days. We're cooked. Shout out to Golden, or Golden Child, who may or may not be the same person as Golden. We don't know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, time for even from a timing-wise is not that much different. So yeah, I mean, could be the top, guys. Could be the top. But again, I'm not necessarily. It's not enough for me to call that just yet. I don't want to beat the dead horse though. But let's take a look at Chainlink. Somebody asked for Link. Let's take a look here while we wait for TradingView to catch up here. Shout out to me says, I lost so much yesterday. YouTubers saying 3x leverage is pretty safe. My 3x positions got liquidated. Shout out to me. I don't know who told you that. That is irresponsible to say. I don't know who said that. But, yeah, I mean, 3x is safer than 100x. I mean, if like, obviously. But if you understand leverage trading, 3x leverage is not, I mean, I guess pretty safe is like, yeah, it's pretty safe, but you still have to be, you can't, to tell somebody even to put a 3x leverage trade on with no stop loss is irresponsible. That's, you still need to use a stop loss. You can easily, I actually said this recently, even, when you look for low leverage longs or low leverage shorts, whatever it is, you want to be really careful, right? Because it's days like this. Last time we had a capitulation event on Bitcoin where we had the, yeah, it seems to be just that tab. Any computer people in here, why is this tab lagged out? And now it's fixed. Okay, sick, whatever. But anyway, on that last capitulation event, like biggest liquidation in history, or whatever, this is why you want to be careful with like low leverage longs. Like a big crazy washout like that, you're gonna it's gonna slap all the leverage. So you do have to be careful. But stick around, bro. I'll show you how to actually manage that risk. And 3x leverage is safe if you have a stop loss, right? It's definitely not safe if you get a big dump or a big pump and you don't have a stop loss. You're gonna get liquidated for sure. Let's see. Shout out to Crypto Trader X said, Frankie, can I write you on Instagram? Shout out to Crypto Trader. Yeah, you could DM me, bro. Probably the my least clogged up DMs. So I probably will see it. But yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram. Leverage is hands-on. Every second can matter. Absolutely. Yeah, like it's not that you can't take low. Low leverage is obviously much safer than. And here's the thing. That's not the case. If you're looking at 3x leverage as much safer than say 50x leverage, you don't know what risk management is. That's not how trading works, right? For me, whether I'm using 3x leverage, all the leverage does is change the amount of margin you need to open the position, right? If someone says that 3x leverage and again, you're much safer from liquidation, right? If you enter, right, if price comes down and I enter a long here on 100x leverage, my liquidation point's going to be like right there. If price sneezes, I'm out and I get liquidated. If you're on 3x leverage, right, your liquidation point is going to be much lower. But here's the thing. If you get liquidated on the 3x leverage, you're going to get just as wrecked as if you get wrecked on the 100x. Right? That's not how trading works. That's not how you're going to make money trading. That's not how it works at all. All changing the leverage does is affect how much margin you need to open that position. What you want to be doing if you're trading is only risking 1 to 2% of your account. If you're only risking, say, 1% of your account, you have to lose 99 trades in a row to blow up your account. Imagine that. If you could just get your risk management down pat well enough where in the back of your head you could lose 99 trades in a row in order to lose your entire account. That gives you confidence in itself. But that has to do with managing your risk and making sure you have your stop loss set, that any trade you get stopped out of, whether I'm on 3x leverage or 100x leverage, if I get stopped out, I'm losing 100%, 1% or 2% of my account, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm on 100x or 3x. If I get stopped out of either of those trades, I'm not taking any more risk. Raising your leverage should not increase your risk. Your risk should always remain consistent at 1 to 2% of your account. This is very important. A lot of people don't know this, right? They just think, well, 100x is risky, 3x is not risky. That's not true at all. That's gambling. If that's how you're looking at it, you're looking at it completely wrong. Whether I'm in a 3x or 100x position, if I get stopped out, I'm losing 1%. The only thing that changes is if I open a 100x position, I only need a small amount of my own money to open that position. For example, this math is not going to add up, but let's just say I need $500 on 100x or say you're just going to need a larger amount of money, right? If you want to open a $50,000 position on 100x, you're not going to need a lot of money to open it. On 3x, you're going to need a lot more of your own money, right? It makes sense, right? Because you're only 3xing your buying power rather than 100xing. But your stop loss should only still allow you to lose 1% of your account. If you're looking at it the other way, you are gambling. You're not trading. Hopefully, no one's out there teaching that. That's not how that works. But anyway, hopefully that helps you out. 1 to 2% of your account, no matter what. And this isn't really gonna, this doesn't really matter. I'm on 30x and 50x. If I get stopped out of these, I'm getting stopped out. Actually, the long, I'll get stopped out for a small loss. If I stop out of the short, I'll get stopped out in profit. But this is a bad example. But if this was a 100x long and this was a 5x short, if I get stopped out of those positions, I'm losing the same amount of money. If that makes sense, right? All it does is change your position size, right? If you are trading and you're going to lose more than 1 to 2% of your account, you need to lower your position size, right? Not your leverage. You have to change your positions. You could trade with 100x leverage. You could trade with 3x leverage. But your position size is what matters. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that, I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. We dumped because you bought a new chair, Frankie. It's your fault. Shout out to Lil Pev. Let's go, Lil Pev. Yeah, guys, if it is the top, I will say this. This chair called the top. I tried to hold on to the old squeaky chair, guys. I tried to hold on to it, but yeah, it's not a... It's not good. It's not good. The chair is could have called the top. Hopefully that's not the case, though. But anyway, let's see here. We get these capitulation events because of so much leverage. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what we saw happen here. We talked about it last night. Again, I recommend you guys go back and watch last night's live stream. Capitulation. I don't know if you call it capitulation, but, big dump, big dump. Why was this happening? Let's mark out those liquidity wicks, right, that we looked at last night on the live stream. One here, one here. We knew that if we were unable to hold this level, we would see a lot of liquidations occur, giving us that fast drop down. That is the longs getting slapped out of the market. When you lose this level, another fast move down, slapping those longs out of the market. You come back up, probably a new longs probably entered, slap back out again. Now the goal is to get above the key level here at the daily at 87,347. But let's go back to Chainlink here. All right, let's see. So, yeah, Chainlink came down to the POC, which is pretty nice. Let me see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah. So we're at the POC. I mean, at this point, we're back inside our larger range. You get back down into the value area high, or back below that value area high. Let me go ahead and take this golden pocket off, right? You lose the golden pocket. Actually, yeah. I'll actually keep that golden pocket on for now. But, once you get stuck under this value area high, next likely place for price to go is that POC. That's exactly where we're getting support right now. If we lose this POC, very simply put, just like if you lose the value area high, you're looking for the POC. Lose the POC, we're looking for the value area low. If you lose the golden pocket, you may be looking for that 786 to come in. So there's many reasons if you lose this POC to anticipate the 786 value area low. This zone is sitting between 1310 and 1276. So if you lose that POC at 1431, look to go to 1284 at the value area low 786. Other than that, I mean, I would be careful here for the bounces, right? It's not like we have massive high time frame bullish divergences. Like, this is not, maybe you get a local bounce, but I'd be careful at this point, right? You've already lost the golden pocket, so I'll take that off the chart. And, yeah, I would, yeah, that's, come back up. Maybe you can look for potential pushback into the value area high. This would be your key resistance if you get the bigger rip up, right? So if you hold the POC and you get a big relief rally, I would look to come into the golden pocket 786 value area high confluence. This zone is sitting between 1654 and 1742, in which case, if this high time frame money flow is still coming out, I would be willing to look for short positions to come back down to the POC and potentially the low if you don't come down there sooner than that. So, big retracement, I'm looking at this zone. Lose the POC, I'm looking at this zone. Very simply put. Money flow coming out on the higher time frames, not the best sign. Yeah, okay, so shout out to Taking Care of Business said, if you break that down, a $100 account, you get 100 $1 trades. No. Shout out to Taking Care of Business. No. It does not mean that you have to have $1 trades. It means that if you get stopped out of that trade, you only lose $1. So you could put all $100 on your account. It won't let you because you can't use your whole account. You have to use a little less, right? But let's say you could put, for example, for argument's sake, right? You could put all $100 on your account into the trade on whatever leverage you want, as long as when you get stopped out, you only lose $1, right? Because a lot of people think that, well, hey, if I can only risk 1% of my account. When I say risk, I don't mean that's what you're putting on the trade. When I say risk, I mean that risk refers to how much you lose if you get stopped out, right? Risk to reward. So, for example, here's your long position, right? The percentage of your stop loss does not matter. This stop loss, where you set your stop loss, should be based off the chart, not how much you're going to lose. This is a very common thing that a lot of people get wrong. You're not going to look at this and say, well, I want to have a 14% stop loss. That's not how that works, right? You want to set your stop loss based off of, and I'm sure people do this successfully, the way I do it, right? And I'll explain to you why it's important. You want to set your stop loss where the invalidation of the trade is, right? Once your trading idea is invalidated, that is where, so for example, let's say we were looking for an SFP of this wick here. In that case, I would be looking for a long position on that SFP, wick below, closure back above, right? Wick below, closure back above. That's your SFP. That's your entry. This stop loss would go right below this wick because on an SFP, the idea is that you come down, sweep out the liquidity for a big reversal to the upside. But let's say you only get a little sweep of liquidity and you still have a ton of liquidity down here, right? And you have liquidity below this low, right? And you have a ton of liquidity down here. If price comes back down and breaks this wick, we're probably going to go grab the rest of that liquidity, which is going to put my trade in massive drawdown. So the invalidation of that trade is below that wick, right? So it does not matter, right, what this number says, right? If it's 2%, 3%, 2.3, it doesn't matter. If I had to put my stop loss down here for the invalidation of the trade, I would put it there. But regardless of where this stop loss is, if I get stopped out of the trade, I could use a bigger position size here, right? The reason for that is because there's not as much drawdown. I would get stopped out very quickly, right? So I could use a higher position, right, or a larger position size. So say I could put $100,000 on the trade here, right, and get stopped out for 1% of the account, right? But if I had my stop loss down here, I can't use $100,000 in that position size because if I come down here, I'm going to lose more than 1% of my account. But it doesn't mean I can't take the trade. But I just have to lower my position size to account for that risk difference. Does that make sense? That's how you should be looking at it, right? So it doesn't mean if you have a $100 account, doesn't mean you put $1 on the trade. You could put all $100 on your trade on say whatever leverage, but as long as the $1 is what you're willing to lose if you get stopped out. And all exchanges will show you that before you enter the trade. When you pull the trigger on the trade and you set your stop loss before you enter, which you should be doing, it'll tell you if this stop loss gets triggered, you will lose X amount. If that number is 1% of your account, you're good to go. If it is more than 1% of your account, you have to lower your position size until you see that loss being 1% of your account. So there you go. So if you get to enter into the trade, you have a $100 account, you enter into the trade. It might be, say $100 on 10x leverage, right? So you're in a $1,000 position, right? And as long as when you get stopped out, you only lose $1, you're good. If it says you're going to lose $5, you might have to go down to, say, a $500 position size or whatever it is. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Bada boom. Thanks, Frankie. You have a video about that risk management? No, we are probably going to make one. There's actually three tutorials I'm going to be making soon, as soon as I get the time. I'm going to make a market cipher B116 strategy video. I'm going to make a risk management video and probably an anchored VWAP video as well. That actually seems OP. Yeah, shout out to taking care of business. That's how risk management works. That's why a lot of people will say, trading is gambling. No. You can totally gamble in trading, right? Like if you don't use a stop loss, you just randomly pick position sizes and you don't know how to manage risk. That could be gambling. But at the end of the day, guys, you don't even need that high of a hit rate to be profitable if you're good at managing risk. So you don't have to be right 100% of the time. You're not going to be. It's impossible, right? It's expected. You're going to lose trades as long as those losses, right? And you can imagine on those positions, right? If you're looking at this position, you could get stopped out, right? You would have to get a stopped out of 100 of these trades. And for an SFP like this, right? Even if you were just targeting the previous highs, right? Even if you were just targeting the previous highs here, right? If you get stopped out, say $100 account, that's a $1 stop out for a potential 26% pump, right? You could get stopped out of a ton of these, and then all it takes is one winner to pay you profit or cover your loss plus profit, right? So unless you have even if you're losing 7 out of 10 trades, right? Like if your risk management is good and you're only risking 1%, you literally have to lose 99 trades in a row. Now, obviously, you want to try to have as high of a hit rate as possible, right? I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, you could still be profitable with good risk management and a pretty growth strategy. So if you can mix both of those like we do here in the Candle Mafia, you could be very profitable. But the difficulty is managing that risk, right? Price might dip down and you might say oh man, I don't want to take that loss. Maybe I'll give it a little more room. Now you're in the danger zone, right? Okay, or no, it's good. Now it's bouncing. Oh, it's coming back down. Maybe I should move it down below this low. And then it starts taking liquidity, and then that's how you wind up ruining your account. You have to be disciplined in your risk management. It's very difficult, right? It's very difficult. It's why most people fail. All right, let's see. Shout out to Ligma says, what would you like to see confirm a rejection or support on the oh my god daddy hold me level? Oh my god daddy please hold me. I should change this. Actually no, we'll go oh my god please mommy. Actually yeah we're gonna shout out to, I know Tony T's dying right now. Here you go, Tony. This one's for you. Anyway, what I would really like to see here, I mean, really what I was hoping for was you have to reclaim it. Because at this point, right, we had the liquidity level. Let me just draw this. right? We had the wick down here that we were hoping to get an SFP on. And we did get the SFP, wick down below, closure above, and now we're just kind of bing-bonging. Or no, I'm sorry. Wait, what the heck? I just moved to the wrong level. Let me just mark this out real quick. Come on. Right, so we have this wick down here. And come on. Come on. Dang, we're farther away than we thought. Okay, so we did get the SFP, right? We got the wick below, the closure above. And now the goal is to reclaim the daily, right? So we did get the SFP. This is what I basically took the long off of. We have bullish divergences on the lower time frame, SFP, as long as a couple of other things, but that was kind of the main things, right? So, we did get the SFP, the wick down here. Now what we want to see is a reclaim of the daily. But again, I would not say that is a very confident bottom forever. I'm going to be managing this as a scalp until proven otherwise 100%. So there you go. CJ said, "Oh my God, Daddy, please bounce, mommy." Let's see. Tony said 100% dying. I showed up for Frankie. I stayed for Mommy Bounce. Shout out to Royal Canadian. Let's get it, bro. Let's go. Let's see. Yeah, demo will never be the same as the real experience. There's not the same skin in the game to test you. Istophobic, absolutely, bro. I agree with that. Demo trading is absolutely Blowfin and Femex have amazing demo trading features. If you guys go check the beginner series, I have tutorials on those demo features. If you check them out, it's a great way to practice using the exchange, understanding how your leverage affects your margin, how to use the stop losses, how to use the different features, and it's a good way to just practice trading in general or backtest stuff. But it's not until you have skin in the game where things are going to get really difficult, right? If you put me on a demo account, I can make $5 million in 2 weeks, right? Because there's no skin in the game. It's very easy to do that. And the real difficult part of trading is managing the emotions and managing your actual risk, which emotions come in on that for sure. Let's see. Yeah, your chances of YOLOing on a paper trade are much higher, especially if you take a loss. You just YOLO more again. Yeah, lost everything. Yeah. Shout out to taking care of business. It's very, very easy to do that. The key is to put your demo account in the red, then start trading. Much more helpful. It's like hitting the gym. That's the difference. Yeah, it's kind of like hitting the gym. I would agree with that for sure. But let's see. Risk, great explained. Yeah, shout out to Alex. Yeah, that's why we're here, bro. We're here to, make sure people understand. You can 100% gamble by trading, but people who just think trading is gambling and, that all trading is gambling, they just simply are inexperienced. They just don't know what they're talking about, respectfully. They just simply don't know what's going on. Let's see. Trading is hard. I'm at break even all the way around, spot and leverage. Shout out to Cryptid Bees. Listen, becoming a break even trader, especially for short-term trades, like a break even leverage trader, that's an accomplishment. Right? Like, if you're going from consistently losing to consistently break even, that is 100% a level up. So be proud of yourself if that is the case. Let's see. In high school, we did paper trading the stock market for Warren Buffett competition. I forgot how many schools do it, but they take the highest earners. Whoa. Shout out to taking care of business. That's dope. I wish they had that when I was in high school. There was any kind of I've never seen that at all. That I wish my school did that. That would be fire. I probably would have been doing this way sooner than I was. Shout out to CJ said I just won a bit funded. Any advice to pass? Risk management, 100%, right? If you're trying to pass a funded account, your risk management is absolutely key. That's pretty much all I can say. Shout out to Crypto B said, on my leverage account is always wrecked. Only $2 left. Shout out to Crypto Bees. Okay. But let's see. I've noticed if you compare the other exchanges, their wicks are always slightly lower or higher. Not much, but enough to wreck people using TradingView levels. Shout out to Istophobic. Well, if you're on TradingView, you're going to be looking at an exchange chart, right? Because you could look at the TradingView calculated chart. But for me, I find, right, there's a ton of different exchanges that you can look at. I find that Bybit gives you the most accurate levels. So although I trade on Femex, Blowfin, wherever I'm trading, regardless of where I'm trading, I should say, I am always looking at the Bybit chart. There is something to say, could you look at the exchange that you're trading on? Sure. If you want to find those levels, that's fine. I typically stick to the Bybit chart because they tend to be more accurate. If I'm looking for an SFP of a level, more often than not, if I don't get it on like a Femex chart or whatever it is, it usually does happen on Bybit. And if you do see it on Bybit, Binance is another good one to look at because there's a lot of volume on Binance. But the oftentimes, like I was getting front ran on so many levels, and I started using the Bybit chart, and it like pretty much ended that. So I like the Bybit chart. It definitely has the most accurate levels in my experience. So that's what I do. But you could always check in on your other charts, right? Like say wherever you're trading. If you're trading on like MEXC, you would just look at a BTC MEXC chart. You just scroll down until you could find it. So you just want, there is something to be said about doing the TA on the chart that you're trading, but I find that Bybit is the best chart to trade on, or do the TA on for the trades. But there we go, guys. We'll see what happens here. We will see what happens. We'll see. We got the bull divs and the SFP. I don't really have super high confidence on this. I'm willing to stop out of this for a small loss in order to get that short to continue to play out. Short is currently up, or long is currently up 419, and short is up 5,300 with the 600 locked in. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see if we get stopped out. I got my stop loss set here. I might even move it up a little bit if we continue up, just to protect myself. So we're in on the long. We'll see what happens, and we're in on the short. Either way, we're going to be making money, and yeah, it's we'll see what happens here. Come on. Yeah, no daily bull div. Daily bull div is invalidated. Absolute invalidation. So we'll see. We're definitely at the level of support. If we do get the bounce, as of right now, as far as money flow, I'd look for lackluster retracements for returns back into a lower high and a lower low. If I could just give some local levels on the way back up, if we do get the push up, let's see, 45-minute green dot confirmed, 90-minute green dot confirmed, 2-hour. Yeah, I would say if we are going to get the continuation, 4-hour green dot, if we can get the 15-minute money flow to cross into the green, which it's still kind of coming out here, so I wouldn't really, we'll see. We need it to come up pretty aggressively here, but if we do continue up, really hard to kind of call these levels because it's kind of just been a very, very fast move down. So, overall, we could pull from the high here on the bearish retest of the value area low. So these are the levels I would be looking at. I don't know if you're going to make it all the way back up here right now, but 90,100 up to the 786 at about 91.93. Local Fibonacci retracement, hyper local, I'll probably be looking for a move into the golden pocket 786 right here between about 88.186 into about 89.8. If we can get that push up into here, that would be probably a good take profit, move my stop loss level, just to protect myself. And then, if we continue up, beautiful. We can, just continue to capitalize on the long. If it stops out, boom, I could get stopped out in profit, and the short can continue to pay us out if we can come down here, lose the range low at 85.2, and come grab all this liquidity we have down leading into the anchored VWAP / golden pocket at 83.150. So we lose this daily, guys. I'm looking to come to 85.2, and if we don't SFP that level, I'm looking to come down to about 83. I'd say, between about 83.7 and, just down into this zone, right? I'll just mark out this blue box real quick. 83,324 and $80,000. We'll see. Can't reclaim the daily, then we come down here. If we can reclaim the daily, look to come back up in here. Massive resistance at the value area low. Local fibs would be what I'd be looking at above. Let's see. Shout out to the power. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said SEC just dropped an investigation on Uniswap. Isn't it interesting how that bearish news came out after the drop to the downside? Yeah, I'm just saying. If we get another dump here, guys, we said it yesterday. If we get this dump and this dump, you fill in the news. I'm going to be looking for it based off the chart, and we will be first before the news. You just fill in what that news was in here. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news every single time. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here on an early stream today. I even got my black coffee here. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you so much. Power, thank you for that super chat. And we'll see if we can. Shout out to the bird next door. Said, do you ever trade gold? No, not really. I have traded it before. But no, I mean, maybe I've taken one trade on gold. I do not trade gold. But yeah, shout out to Fluffy. Shout out to Iskiski. What is an SFP? Hit that beginner series. Subscribe to the channel. We teach it here every day. But go to the beginner series. I have tutorials on how to trade SFPs and what they are and, you know, how they work and all that good stuff. So check them out. If you guys are interested in joining the premium Discord, check the Discord. Check the link in the description down below. All our exchanges that we use are in the link in the description. And just real quick, guys, Discord is not a signals group, but go into the dining room and get a free trial. Go to the free Discord to get that. Cause I get Bubba said, great stream. Have a good one. So thank you guys for being here. Shout out to Crypto Anon. Shout out to Tony D. Shout out to the mods. Show them some love in the chat. Say it ain't so, Frankie. Shout out to Cryptic Crab, man. They ended the investigation. Oh, is that what it said? Am I tripping? Oh, did they just start it and just end it? Was it like, hey, we're investigating? There's nothing to see here. But anyway, guys, I'll see you here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pray for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f*** is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same. I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I can't.
Hold on, guys. Dropped the investigation. I thought you were saying like they just dropped a fresh investigation, bro. Shout out to Power. I just realized that. They dropped the investigation, as in discontinued the investigation. I thought you meant they just dropped a fresh investigation, and I was like, oh, dang. So full alert there. Misunderstanding on my part. So yeah, dropped it as in it's not happening anymore. I thought you were saying like they were dropping fresh bars, like they were spitting fire. But yeah, shout out to Power. Thank you for saying that, bro. But anyway, with all that being said, guys, I'll see you later at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel on your way out. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out.